asking for your wisdom. We come to you today asking for your wisdom, your strength, and your support. I pray for everyone's blessing. I will pray for YYCI family, all speaker, moderator, our founder, co-founder, and I pray for global peace and global healing. I pray for everyone's blessing and make all of us instrument of your peace. Bless this conference, bless this day. We need you. We need your blessing. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Welcome to Y.Y.C.I International, a home of discovery, development, and demonstration. A home of love, relationship, and welcome to Y.Y.C.I International, a home of discovery, development, and demonstration. A home of love, relationship, and family. A place of mastering mindset for transformation and building deeper relationship.
YYCI Blueprint is TIME for the youth leaders and young families. Transformation and training. Inspiration and impartation. Mentoring and motivation. Empowering and education.
Y.Y.C.I International Limited mission is to transform lives, relationships, professions and education, and to support the youth and women to change their mindset, their stories and their situations, and also to support the underprivileged and vulnerable women and children. YYCI's mission is to engage the youth's mind positively and take positive actions, to help them to focus and not to be distracted, and to get better and let them know they have everything in them to be successful and fulfilling their purpose, and once they believe in themselves and focus on their development, they can also help others to get better, and that is why we established Y.Y.C.I International Limited mission is to transform lives, relationships, professions and education, and to support children, youth and women to change their mindset, their stories and their situations, and also to support the underprivileged and vulnerable women and children. Our aim is to provide services of care, protection, participation, and rehabilitation of children and youth in difficult situations, and ensure their social adjustment, total growth and development. To advocate and support the underprivileged and vulnerable women and children and partner with other organizations, orphanages, hospitals and institutions that support the underprivileged and vulnerable women and children. To support and protect vulnerable children. To provide extra help underprivileged women. To ensure they are kept safe. To provide healthy food. To provide education. To provide child welfare services. To protect children from abuse, neglect. To enable children to remain safely in the premises provided. To be a good listener, good friend and truthful to the children and the youth.
Dr. Elizabeth Lucas is a dynamic and motivation speaker. She is based in the United Kingdom. She is the founder and director of Y.Y.C.I International. She has been invited to several international conferences to speak and lecture. She is an intelligent teacher, author, and she is a mentor to the younger generation. Please subscribe to YYCI TV on YouTube to watch her amazing videos. You will be glad you did.
This is just to let you know that there's nothing too difficult for you to do.
If we can change, then everything around us will change.
Without wisdom, you can't really create wealth. We're in the world of creativity. Okay. Dr. Ediana?
Yes, I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and fellow participants, good morning, afternoon, and evening. Welcome to the Transformational Leadership Conference organized by YYCI International under our visional leadership. Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas Afalulu. My name is Sarjan Vika from Indonesia. It's truly honored to be here in this great event with all of you today as the chairperson, together with my great friend, Dr. Inga Karchilova from Georgia. So our founder, Dr. Queen, has been an inspiring force in the world of leadership, and her dedication to empowering individuals and fostering the positive change is truly remarkable. And yes, you can international team has worked tirelessly to bring us all together here, and we owe them our gratitude for their relentless commitment to making this event possible. And our theme for today is relationship matters, aligning with the philosophy that Dr. Queen and Yes You Can International have been advocating. And as many of you know, that YYCI has recently launched a book that delve into the significance of relationship in our personal and professional lives. And today we are here to explore the wisdom and knowledge shared by great leaders in the world. And over the next few hours, we will immerse ourselves in a rich array of subtopics such as overcoming trauma and emotional breakdowns, solving conflicts, handling disappointment, and letting things go for ourselves, and ultimately finding freedom within. So yeah, I do believe that these subjects are vital in our journey of self-improvement and transformational leadership. So don't forget to prepare your water to keep hydrated and focus in this amazing summit. So today we have a privilege of hearing from many great minds who will enrich our understanding of relationship matters. And I do believe that each speaker brings a unique perspective, and together we will expand our horizon and learn how to become more effective and passionate leader. And before we dive into the session, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all our speakers, attendees, and the entire organizing team for making this event possible. And yeah, without any further ado, let's have our opening speech by His Excellency Prince Professor Dr. Mario Lucero from Philippines to take the virtual stage and set the tone for what promises to be enlightening and transformative journey. Because yeah, we do believe that our professor insight are greatly anticipated, and we are eager to learn from his past experience. Without any further ado, I welcome Professor Dr. Mario Lucero. The stage is yours, sir. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Coach Ardan Norfika from Indonesia. Thank you for that generous introduction. First of all, I'd like to greet, of course, my dear friend, the founder of Yes You Can International, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth, okay, for this particular program that she initiated for us to meet every month to discuss important things that would help us improve the quality of lives that we have, of course. Our good friend, Dr. Naja Riri, also is here, different dignitaries across the globe, and of course, guest speakers of tonight's activity. A pleasant morning, afternoon, and evening to each and everyone. Relationship form foundation of our lives, shaping our emotions, experiences, and personal growth. Whether they are with family, friends, romantic partners, or co-workers, healthy relationship bring joy, support, and sense of belongingness. However, there can also be challenging at times, requiring effort, patience, and understanding. In this way, we will explore the importance of relationship. Okay, we will listen to the speakers. We will listen to great people across the globe as they will communicate with us the value of relationship. I would just like to highlight, of course, important aspects on relationship, which I think number one is on communication, the backbone of healthy relationship. Strong relationships thrive on open, honest, and effective communication. Active listening, expressing oneself clearly, and respecting each other's perspective are vital components of communication. By fostering an atmosphere of trust And understanding individuals can resolve conflicts, express their needs, and build deeper connection. I know that we have different languages sometimes, okay, but I think the communication of love and relationship is very important. The second aspect that I'd like to highlight, okay, is also trust and honesty. The pillars of strong bonds are trust and honesty, which will form as bedrock of successful relationship. Trust is the belief that reliability, integrity, and consistency of other person. It is nurtured through loyalty, transparency, and keeping one's promises. Honesty creates an environment where individuals feel safe sharing their deepest thoughts, emotions, and vulnerabilities. These qualities foster deeper connection and build long-lasting relationship. Another also component is the mutual respect, valuing each other's individuality, respecting one another boundaries, opinions, and choices is essential in any relationship. It involves acknowledging the unique qualities and perspectives of other person, even when they differ from their own in terms of language, in terms of race, religion, and sexes. Another also is about empathy and emotional support. Nurturing compassion, empathy involves understanding and sharing the feelings of another person, fostering deeper emotional connections, conflicts, and provides comfort during difficult times. Emotional support is the lifeline that strengthens the relationship. Second to the last that I'd like to highlight is our time and effort. Of course, attending this particular sharing, of course, entails um, our commitment to our time. Okay, investing relationship is also building and maintaining healthy relationship, which require time and effort. Investing in a quality time together and engaging in shared activities, also in solidarity in foundation, also by prioritizing relationship and dedicating time to nurture them is very important. That's why our time to listen to this particular platform is very important. And the last one point that I'd like to share is about our growth and adaptability. Weathering the storms, okay, just like weathering the storms. Relationship inevitably encounter challenges, conflicts, and changes. We usually have this particular differences with Queen Elizabeth, but sometimes at the end of the day, we try to reconcile and also accept our challenges. Okay, embracing change, supporting each other through difficult time is very important, and actively working towards resolving conflicts foster resilience and deepens our bonds. So in conclusion, nurturing relationship matters is a lifelong journey that brings immense joy, support, and personal growth. By focusing on effective communication, trust, honesty, mutual respect, empathy, time management, and adaptability, individuals can cultivate strong bonds that withstand the test of time. These healthy relationships enrich our lives, provide a sense of belongingness, and contribute to our overall well-being. As we navigate through the complexities of human connections, let us remember that nurturing relationship matter is a worthwhile investment that brings fulfillment and happiness in the long run. So with that, a pleasant morning, afternoon, evening to each and everyone. We wish you all the best, and I hope that we will enjoy the sharing of great people this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you so much, His Excellency Prince Professor Dr. Mario Snero from Philippines, our country director of Philippines, and also the founder of Leeds Philippines. We really appreciate your relationship with us, your commitment, and also your prayers. We also want to appreciate you as well for sharing with us and opening the speech of this great event today. Thank you, sir, and welcome. I hope you stay with us longer today. Right. Let me seize this opportunity to quickly acknowledge all our great leaders on this platform. I want to say thank you so much. Permit me not to mention name as early as possible this morning because we have a lot to do today. For this is the day that the Lord has made. We will continue to rejoice and be glad in it. This is a wonderful day for Y.Y.C.I International, especially as we have rested for few days or few weeks after our amazing third year anniversary that we did on the 29th, 30th, and the 1st of October. So I want to say thank you for joining us and celebrated with us during that time. We also launched our great books on relationships matters. And I believe that it is time for us to transform our lives, our relationships, and even our leadership. So, without wasting much of your time today, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your love, your care, and your amazing support. I also want to seize this opportunity to express my gratitude to all our amazing patrons and matrons and presidents and ambassadors, our advocates and our directors, our advisory board members, and all family of Y.Y.C.I International. You are all welcome. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your love. Thank you for we are working together, standing together, learning together to impart into other people's lives, especially our younger generations. So you are all welcome. So like I said, I'm not going to waste much of your time today, but I want to appreciate all our great leaders on this platform. Queen Nadia, thank you for joining us. And Professor Regunat, you are welcome back after a long time. I pray that God will continue to heal you completely. And I want to say thank you so much for every one of us. Okay, including myself. I'm going to hand over now to our amazing leaders that will lead us and make this event comfortable for every one of us. So I'm going to hand over to Professor Dr. Ediana Dewick Nofika, together with amazing leader, Dr. Inga Kashilafas. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. I wish you health, happiness, success, and peace in your life. Peace in the family this time, and of course, in the world. Good morning, good afternoon once again, good evening, my dear and respected community. Greetings from Georgia. I'm Inga Kharchilawa. Today is November 4th. Another important day has dawned that will be recorded in history. So, a celebration of knowledge sharing. Today we are together again under one umbrella. Leaders, trainers, teachers, students, change makers, social workers from all over the world. And everyone is ready to share knowledge. Thank you very much for that. And especially, of course, many thanks to your dear Queen Elizabeth Lucas for this amazing opportunity. Good luck to everyone once again. Thank you so much once again. Okay. And yes, you can. Yes, we can. Everything together. And now I invite Professor Raghunas Parkal from India. So welcome, sir. My big respect to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, friends all over the world. First of all, I thank Dr. Kuhn Elizabeth, my sister, for inviting this session. Now, today, I want to discuss about how to handle disagreement. So, first of all, I will ask a question to Elizabeth's sister. How to handle disagreement, sister? Yeah, that's it. So, she already gave the answer. How to handle the disagreement means, first of all, you should have a positive mind, and with a smile, with a peaceful mind, you have to handle the issue. That is the first concept she already communicated to you by just smiling. Am I right, Elizabeth, sister? You should be very calm, very positive. With a smile, we have to handle the situation, especially the disagreement. That is what I want to say. According to me, as a psychologist, I want to tell you an interesting thing. Most of the disagreements or the problems are not coming from the real reason of the problem. But interestingly, I want to say one concept. How you are handling the issue or how you are presenting the issue. The problems are really the problems, the way you are presenting the problem or depending upon your body language. I think my sister will agree this concept. Most of the issues comes from the ego issues. Yes or no, sister? Because the problems are not the really problem. The way we are handling the problem or the way we are presenting the problem and how we are using the body language is going to be very important in the case of, the problems are rather showing the disagreement. So I like to discuss certain, interesting concept in this regard than the real issue of the problem, how we are going to say when we are facing a disagreement. Sister, we can say always a big no. Am I right? That will create another issue. We can always say a no. There's a considerable difference between the big no and the small no. How we are going to say the no's, the disagreement. But more than that, I want to tell you a diplomatic presentation, that is the disagreement, you can say in a very beautiful way. That is called, the technique is called, we used to teach this technique to various management students, especially for the MPA students. The technique is called yes, but. Yes, but it is equivalent to no. Am I right, sister? The way we are answering. See, the first big no, as I told you, is the reaction. See, as our earlier speaker was talking about the communication aspects, I want to add this also. There are two R's in the communication. Once we receive this communication, it can be a reaction, it can be a response. So two R's are always important. If it is reaction, means there is no going to be a situation called win-win situation. Either one person is winning the situation, other person is not getting the real success. So we are supposed to create a situation called win-win. So for which always, once the communication is done, there should not be a reaction, but there should be a response. I think, Elizabeth's sister, you will agree. So let us have a disagreement with your smile. Yes, but it's a beautiful smile. Am I right, Elizabeth's sister? Yes, but it is a beautiful smile. So instead of saying no, we have to really make the habit of yes, but English is a beautiful language where you can also say the difference of opinion in a very positive way, like, I beg to differ with you. I beg to differ with you. That is also equivalent to no. So there are so many kinds of presentation available based on your body language, based on your communication. The disagreement will increase or the problem will increase. What I want to tell you that The problems are not really the problem. Actually, there may be some root cause for the problem. More than that, how you are presenting the problem is going to be always important. If you are presenting the problem with the very body language, you are going to increase the problem. If you are going to communicate in a very big way with a big no, then there is an issue. So that's why I want to tell you, with a clean, calm mind, you have to deal the issue. Elizabeth sister, I think you will translate what I am telling. Translate not, but you can, rather say more about this. I used to teach my students, right, as a professor, especially in the psychological students. That is one thing. I got a lot of patience because I got patience. Elizabeth sister, you understand? I have got a lot of patience because I got patience.
Yes.
I got a lot of patience because I got patience. So one thing in handling a disagreement, in handling a lot of issues, the main concept which as a psychologist is telling you should have a positive mindset as well as the patience, the calmness to handle the issue. That will not cause much problem in the relationship. I think, sister, you have allocated only 5 minutes to me. That is what I understand. And I had to go back to my hospital also. For this purpose, I came all the way. And I'm very thankful to you. Definitely, I'll be there with you and enhancing our, rather sharing of knowledge all over the world. Thank you, sister, and thank you, my dear friends, with a threatening that we will meet again, right, for a creative session. Thank you, Lord, sister. Bye.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Raghunath Paraka from India. We really appreciate your wisdom you've shared with us, especially on how to deal with conflicts and even other things, and even handle our emotions. You've said it all, and I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for, out of your busy schedule, you still quickly joined us today to be one of our guests of honor and share your wealth of wisdom. Thank you. We really appreciate you. Thank you also for continuing to be my lifetime mentor. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your support. We really appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Okay, over to you. Dr. Ediana.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Quinn. Thank you so much, Professor Raghunath, for your wisdom of word. It was such an opening eyes for all of us here. And okay, our audience, don't forget to give your beautiful smile, like our guest of honor already mentioned, because yeah, we know that it's going to bring the positive energy in this conference. So from India, let's move forward to Portugal, because right now, we have with us our guest of honor, Professor Luis Cardoso. Let's welcome Professor Luis. The stage is yours.
I saw him just now. What happened?
Professor Luis, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, he's here.
Oh, that's good. I thought he got scared.
Hello, good morning, my friends.
Good
No,
morning.
not scared,
Good
not
morning,
scared
Professor.
whatsoever. Good morning. We cannot be scared when we are among esteemed colleagues and dear friends.
You heard what I said, Professor
Greetings
Quinn.
from Portugal. Greetings from Portugal, my friends. How are you all?
We are
Great,
fine.
great.
It's a great honor to be here among you. So first of all, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas for the kind invitation to be here. It's always a pleasure. It's always a great honor to collaborate with such esteemed colleagues. And it's great to be here to address this topic and share some thoughts regarding this important challenge that we have. So allow me to share brief presentation about relationships.
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear friend. And about one of the keywords that for me is quite important in order to understand how to foster relationships in these very complex times we're living. So I chose communication in relationships because I think it is one of the key factors that can establish success or create barriers regarding relationship. So when we think about how to communicate and how to address communication, I think that we all invoke the words of George Bernard Shaw, and he said the single biggest problem with communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And sometimes we communicate and we think that, yes, I really communicated, I really established communication. But unfortunately, communication has to be a double-sided construction. It's not just about how to send a message. It's all about how to receive a message, how to create and decode the message. And there are a lot of barriers, even when we think we are establishing a good connection, even when we're establishing and creating a good message, even when we think that all contexts have been analyzed and everything is in place regarding the words, regarding whatever we are saying without speaking, because we also have verbal communication and non-verbal communication, as our previous speaker well said. So, my dear friends, the question is, why is communication important in a relationship? So I'm sure we all agree that communication is a key factor. First of all, to establish connection. Second, to establish empathy. Third, to create opportunities to develop the relationship. So, of course, a good relationship starts with good communication. And we could analyze how we can create a good communication. So, first of all, let us think that communication is not just about verbal communication, but also about non-verbal communication. And 90% of how we communicate is non-verbal. So, for example, I should pay attention to a lot of details. Am I rolling my eyes? Do I have my arms crossed? Am I on the phone? What message am I sending to my partner? What is my tone? Do I sound like a teacher? Am I condescending? Am I harsh? Do I sound like I know it all? Do they hear and see contempt? So these are some important and interesting questions that we have to ask ourselves when we are establish these paths regarding communication. And I think about how to communicate with others. So when we also think about how to fix the lack of communication in relationships, we can highlight a set of topics that are quite important. For example, increase your awareness. And sometimes we're not truly aware about how to communicate, how we establish our connection, how we are managing our time and space, if we pay attention to differences, or if we ignore differences. So we have to make a commitment to change, to try to understand others, to try to understand the differences, to try to respect those differences. And if we respect those differences, then of course we can create empathy. So set up accountability, understand your attachment style, be proactive about your communication, be open to suggestions, be curious about your partner, learn to set healthy boundaries, check in on a regular basis, express vulnerability. This is not weakness, it's to express a way to connect, and to say, I'm here, you're here, what are we creating, and is this creationship working? So do we have to work more? Do we have to establish a deeper connection? And focus on the we. It's not just an I and the other. It's the we. It's the we that we are connecting. It's the we that we are creating. So celebrate the small wins. Our previous speaker highlighted the concept, a win-win situation. And of course, a relationship is always a win-win situation. When one wins, the other wins, the two and both of us win. And of course, when both of us win, then relationships win. And of course, be patient. Patience, tolerance, respect. These are keywords that are very important in our relationships. So when we think about how can we improve our communication skills, not just in our daily life, not just in our jobs, but also in our relationships, I think we have a framework that is quite common, I believe. So what are the best channels to use to get across information? And regarding relationships, of course, oral communication is number one. But oral communication, it's all about words, acts. It's about sign language. It's about the question of how I can connect even without saying absolutely nothing at all. So are we communicating in a clear, open, passionate, and humble way? Is this common in our relation? How does the way you communicate make those around you feel? So how can I get feedback from the others to know if my communication is being effective or not? Are we being human? Because we are human, but sometimes our communication is not human. It's quite technical. It's quite the opposite. And if someone communicated to you in the same way you are communicating to others, what impact would it have? So we also have to think that communication has to work both ways. So we have a lot of ways to overcome barriers that happen during the process of communication, of course. And even if we try harder, there will always be barriers. So, my dear friends, make our ideas clear before communicating. Before communicating is something that we have to understand. It's the key element for all this. And ensure the time of your communication is good. Use a language your receiver can understand. Make your message to the point and short. Checking if the other person has understood your message. And of course, taking care of your body language, your tone and content of the message. Listen before you speak again. So we need tolerance, we need respect, we need to understand the relation between time and space in our relationships. Do not interrupt when someone else is speaking, and make your message judgment-free. I think sometimes many persons are judging even before they understand what others have to say. So let us not judge, my dear friends. We are all here in this life not to judge, but to give the best from ourselves and to build a better society for all and to create and overcome bridges regarding tolerance and respect. So how to manage these communication barriers, my friends? So first of all, we have to identify the communication barriers we are facing, and we have a lot. So it begins, for example, from the channel that I choose to communicate. It begins with the context. It begins with the layers of how I can create messages, for example. So this is how to identify the communication barriers we are facing in order to overcome these barriers. Of course, we have to learn about different cultural norms and customs, because if we learn about diversity, if we understand diversity, again, we understand the need to be tolerant, we understand the need to respect other cultures, for example, to respect our ways of thought, to respect the different opinions. So this is the most important thing that we have to establish to create a common path regarding communication. And of course, we have to identify our assumptions, stereotypes, and sometimes biases and prejudices, as I was saying 2 seconds ago. So we have to eliminate all the prejudice, we have to eliminate all the stereotypes in order to clean our message, in order to clean the context, in order to create clear opportunities to engage. And when we are engaging, we have to forget the differences and focus on what is common, focus on what matters. And what really matters comes from the heart. It doesn't come from context, doesn't come from differences, doesn't come from barriers and frontiers. So let us pick an appropriate official team language. And the team language not just about working in a corporation, in an entity, in a private sector or public sector. It's not about work. It's about how to establish the set of, let us just say, the connection between the mindset and the words. And this connection is the official team language. And the official team language, of course, requires essential communication skills. This is why empathy and mirroring are so important. So how to create empathy and mirroring? So first, we have to understand that we have a message to convey, we have a message to deliver, but we can only expect success regarding that message when we truly understand others. So it's not just about having persuasion techniques. It's not about having a deep sense of effective listening, for example, or a professional language style. It's more than this. It's to have transparency. It's to have honesty. And of course, a message must be created with great and profound personalization. So again, a key question about all this is, who is our listener? And in our relationships, of course, who is our listener is a key element for us to understand how our communication can be effective. So I could, of course, highlight all of these elements to create effective communication, but I prefer to choose some keywords, just like trust, like compassion, like verbal communication and personal connections. And most of all, personal connections, my dear friends, who can eliminate barriers, who can overcome frontiers. So these communication skills that we are talking about are connected with relationships, but we also face them and encounter them when we think about our daily jobs, when we think about how to establish connection with our colleagues. So this is something that is common. We're not thinking about different communication skills. We are thinking about the same communication skills, but in different contexts. So this is, again, the so-called win-win conversations. And these win-win conversations happen no matter the context. So it happened in our relationships, it happened when we are working, when we are with our friends, in different contexts of our daily lives. So think about how benefits of effective communication can truly create more opportunities to communicate better. So we have to understand that communicating is also about having easier and better problem-solving opportunities, of course. And this also permits us to have easier and better decision-making, better business relationships. So again, what happens in our relationship, in our personal relationship, also happens when we are working. So this means that increasing engagement, when we think about, for example, work policies, are truly what really happens when we think about our personal relationships. So better team culture and these things like improved productivity in our corporations are also meant to be understood regarding what happens in our daily and personal lives. So, my dear friends, to make our communication more effective, we need to shift from what information do I need to convey to what questions do I want my audience to ask. And this means what questions do I want the others to ask? What questions do I want my partner to ask? So the most important thing in communication is to hear what isn't being said, just like Peter Drucker highlights. And this leads us regarding to communication in relationships mostly to 2 points of view. When we have an issue, when we have a problem, when we have differences, when we have barriers, when we have frontiers, we have two options: to consider that the glass is almost full, or to consider that the glass is almost empty. I always choose and prefer the first option. The glass is almost full. So it's better to focus on positive things. It's better to focus on what we have established so far to understand what we need to create to establish 100% communication. And sometimes 100% communication is an ideal, but we have to establish that priority. So let us forget the almost empty situation here and try to consider the almost full situation, because this can bring us closer to effective communication, not just in our relationships, but also in our daily work, with our friends, with our colleagues. And when we have communication that comes from the heart, then we have true communication. So thank you, my dear friends, for listening to these thoughts. It's indeed a pleasure and a great honor to be here with you today. And I hope we continue this journey regarding how to establish new paths regarding relationships, and never forgetting that communication is, of course, a vital item that we have to consider. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you so much, sir. Professor Dr. Luis Cardoso from Portugal, our dear friend, or my own dear friend. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a great journey together since the beginning of this year, even last year. And I really appreciate your time. I know you are very, very busy, Professor, traveling from one place. I think you just come back from Indonesia or India, somewhere about. And I want to say thank you, sir, for joining us today, for sharing your wealth of wisdom and knowledge. We do not take anything for granted. And I believe that every one of us on this platform, we are ready to grow together, share together, and also learn from one another, because we are the leader to impact into other people's lives, especially our younger generation. You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. Thank you. Again, it's a great privilege to be here. Always with you, my friend.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Okay, over to you, Dr. Dr. Ediana? Oh, Dr.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Luis, for enlightening us. Honestly, I used to think that communication was the key until I realized that the comprehension is, because we can communicate all we want, but if they don't understand us, then it will not reach them the way we need it to. So let's give applause to Professor Luis' presentation. It was really amazing. Okay, now from Portugal, let's go back to India. We have with us our third guest of honor. Please welcome Professor Dr. Kavita. The stage is yours.
And after Dr. Kavita, can we quickly call on Ambassador Professor Vasa after, because I think she's about to, sorry, I'm missing it now. I think it is Professor Dr. Daya from Pakistan, because she has another meeting immediately after this. So after Dr. Kavita. Dr. Kavita, Professor?
Very, very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to all my beautiful people here. It's such a lovely pleasure, and I'm so glad that I'm talking to you in the midst of an island now. I'm not sure how far my signals are coming through, So it's such a pleasure to be a part of this wonderful transformational leadership program. And I can also see my beautiful sister, Queen Nadia, and I can also see my wonderful brother, Professor Raghunath Perekal, and all the beautiful speakers here. It's such a beautiful evening. Today, the topic on relationships, which is most crucial for the existence of humanity. I congratulate our Queen, Professor Elizabeth, to think about it in such a wisdom way, because that is the need of the hour. So much before I talk about my topic, like how do we heal the emotional and how do we heal the trauma and the emotional breakdowns? This is the topic I chose to speak today. I would probably like to give a basic foundation on why exactly, how different is trauma for different people? Because unless until we understand how the trauma is different for different people, we would never know how to heal the trauma. So first I would like to start with, what are the different styles, attachment styles, and how is the trauma healing associated with the attachment styles? As we all know, as the basis of human existence, it depends upon the 4 factors. Factor number 1 being love. Each one of us, we do need love. That is the one of the most important spiritual needs. The next most important spiritual need is feeling safe and secured in any given relationship, in any given environment, in any given situation. And the third most important thing is feeling appreciated for what we are, feeling appreciated for what we do, and feeling appreciated for what we exactly do. And the fourth most important thing is feeling approved for whatever we are, because most of the times it's very difficult to heal the trauma, because a person is not being approved for the mistakes, a person is not being approved for what has happened to him. So it's very difficult to really heal from the specific trauma. These are the 4 spiritual needs that every human being does do require at some point of time in life. At some point of time in life, I would not say at some point of time, at all the times. And in fact, these form the basic foundations of human existence or human survival. So when there is a trauma that occurs in a person, it could be a physical trauma, it could be an emotional trauma, it could be a psychological trauma, or it could be an environmental trauma. We are talking about the unsafe place to work and unsafe place to do. There is a lot of different ways that a person heals from the specific trauma situation. And it is not as easy as I'm talking about, because though there is a specific cycle that every trauma person takes up to recover and comes back to his original sense of being, but it is not so easy, because one can move forward probably to step 3, and if things don't really work better, they might drop down to step 1 again. It's not as easy. It's not linear. It is absolutely non-linear. And all the factors, all the variables that has created this trauma and has to create a kind of a safe situation for a person to really move up the cycle of healing from the emotional wound and the trauma. So let me now talk about the reasons, the cycle. This is a general cycle that we are talking about. It necessarily need not follow the same for everybody, and it necessarily need not mean that because a person has taken up step 1, now the person is moving on to step 2. As I told you, there is a great possibility that after moving on to step 3, the person might drop back to step 1 again if things are not very favorable in a person's favor. So many people keep asking me, what exactly is the process? How do we really overcome this trauma situation? uh, you know and these questions are quite understandable, because the process of trauma, recovering from trauma, is very, very difficult, and you cannot really predict it, because it's so different. As I told you, each person has a specific need that has not been met, and because the need has not been met at a certain point of time, recover from that trauma becomes very, very difficult. So each of these stages, as I mentioned, I probably would like to put upon the 4 major stages and small stages in between. As I told you, this is so flexible between a stage to a stage. The flexibility and the number of steps are so high that it is so easy for a person to slip back to step 1 again and then say, sorry, I don't think I'm totally helpless and hopeless and I cannot be recovered from this. So first we start with, probably because the 10 minutes is too short a time to really talk too much about this. So let me just give a brief instance on what are the various stages that person will definitely undergo before healing, or before he says that the person is into the healing cycle of trauma. The first one is acknowledgement. Unfortunately, most of the people don't even realize they are in a trauma because they get so habituated to it. We see the domestic violence, we see the emotional abuse. They don't even realize that there is an abuse that is happening to them. They become a part of it. That's so hardwired. They start accepting it the way it is. So it becomes very, very difficult. So it becomes very, very difficult for a person to really accept or acknowledge the fact that they are in a trauma. The first stage is, I would call it the acknowledgement stage. The acknowledgement stage where a person starts realizing, yes, I do have a trauma. I feel traumatic. There is something wrong that's happened to me. So first stage that we are talking about. So, and the second stage is feeling safe. This is important phase. Unless until you feel safe, you first is acknowledging. As I told you, you have to validate that a person has a trauma. Once a person starts validating that a person has his trauma, the second stage is safe. The person has to feel safe. What do I mean by safe? Safety means safety in relationships, safety in the environment, the work, the home I am in, safety in my emotional relationships, safety in my psychological mindset, safety in what all I do, safety in everything, my physical sense, my mental sense, my emotional sense, talking about everything, my environmental sense. So this is the second stage, which is the most difficult stage, because once a person undergoes the trauma, for them to get back the trust and gain back the trust that I'm going to be safe again, it's not so easy, as I tell you. It's definitely not easy. Let us say that a person is not feeling safe at some point. They get back to the fact that, okay, probably this is something else. As I told you, they can just jump back to step 1 again, where they fail to realize, they fail to acknowledge that there is a trauma. They say, I don't have anything. This is the normal way everybody feels. The third stage we're talking about is the stage of process. Once a person starts feeling safe in relationships and environment, with themselves, with others, everything, they start now getting into the process. When I say process, that is, this is again a professional way that we are looking at. Probably, as I told you, each trauma is so different in its own perspective that I cannot give one general thing to state that, this is the way that you can heal your trauma. Probably one is a physical trauma, one is an emotional trauma, one is a psychological trauma, one is a trauma from the environment. It could be anything. So depending upon the case, they need to start processing that. Where exactly is the concern? Where do I need to, and where do I need to make a beginning as such? So this is the third stage of processing the whole thing. Once everything is processed, then we are talking about integrating the whole gaps wherever we feel that, we don't feel safe, or we don't feel that we cannot move ahead. Trying to integrate the whole process. This is stage 4. So these are the 4 general stages that we are talking about. In between, there are 100 stages or 100 small steps, which I cannot even define. It could be something like I have different phobias, I have different maniacs, I have different things, because it again depends upon how did this trauma impact me as a person. How did this trauma impact me as a person? So probably I can give you a very small example, which is something that this is my personal experience. There used to be a family, and this family, like the father used to stay away somewhere in a foreign country, and the child was taken care by the mother. So the father used to visit. Probably once in a year or a couple of years. And then the mother used to have a friend. So whenever the friend comes, the father used to show so much love to the child. So much love to the child that he used to get her chocolates, he used to get her everything. The child started feeling that, oh my God, my father behaves very well with me. This mom's friend comes to my home. This is the case I'm talking about. So, and then after some point of time, they divorced. They divorced. So there was an inner child trauma that the child was holding for quite a long time. When this has happened, then the girl got married. When the husband, knowing the case of the girl, he said, no, the parenting has been very bad with the child. Let me start treating my wife well. So he started getting her gifts. The moment the husband started getting her gifts and doing good things to her, she started doubting the husband is going to leave her. We are talking about a childhood inner child trauma that the person has been holding for such a long time. They have not even realized. The child felt that if somebody is doing good to me, that somebody is trying to be nice with me, which means that they are trying to impress upon they are going to leave me soon. So the cases can be in hundreds and thousands of variants like this, the case I have mentioned. So as I said, let me conclude, not taking much time. There could be many reasons why a person gets into a trauma and why it is so difficult to heal the trauma of a person, because there will be a lot of inner child wounds. Each one of us has a kind of a wound. It's not that there's no person who doesn't have a wound. Everybody has a wound. And the way they turn into a personality, when a trauma happens to an adult, the trauma that has been in the child as a child, how the child takes it and how well the child can come out of it, it makes all the difference. So I end by stating my talk that, I think as parents, as teachers, as leaders, the most important thing that we need to look into is what is that we do our best to give the 4 spiritual needs that every human being needs: love, safety, and security. And then second thing is appreciation. Third thing is acceptance. And the fourth thing is we are talking about approval. How do we really accept, appreciate, love, safety, and security? And I think we need to now become conscious adults, thinking every time, is our behavior impacting any person in any of these 4 domains? Because we are just not destroying a person, we are destroying the whole personality. We're not only one person, we are destroying the families that come behind that person. And I think as a leader, it's very important that we need to think about it. We need to look into how exactly and what exactly and how sensitive we are to meeting up these 4 needs of individuals. So with this note, I thank you once again, my dear sister Queen Elizabeth, for giving me such a beautiful opportunity. And it's my pleasure again. It's my pleasure to talk amidst the water, because I'm somewhere in between the river and I'm talking to you. I'm not sure if my voice has been loud and clear, but it's a pleasure talking in the nature and talking such an important topic. With this, I thank you so much, and thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Kavita from India. Thank you so much for your wealth of knowledge and wisdom. Thank you also for letting us enjoy your atmosphere where you are now. So we are there with you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We appreciate your thoughtful words that you have shared with us this morning, this afternoon, or this evening. And we really appreciate your time as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a wonderful.
Thank you.
Stay with
Thank you
us
so much.
so we can enjoy your atmosphere over there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Without wasting much time, because we need to go, we have to reschedule all these things for a reason. Please bear with us, and please don't leave until you share your wealth, because we need your knowledge on this platform. And we really appreciate your time. I appreciate every other things that is going on regarding the connectivity, regarding any programs, other things. But bear with us, please. And we will definitely call you as soon as possible for every of my great leaders on this platform. I want to hand over. Also, it is our custom as YYCI International to call on our patrons and matrons. They are all here. But I want to ask for permission from them, because I know that we will still call them because they are the mother and the father of this organization. So please bear with us, Queen Nadia, and all our kings and our leaders, our patrons and matrons. Please, we will call you very shortly. We just want to accommodate those that are really having problem with their connection and they really want to share before the internet cuts them off. So please bear with us for a moment. Okay, I will hand over to Dr. Inga.
Thank you so much, Dr. Queen. What an amazing day. Wow. We continue your excellent conference. We continue to learn and grow together. We hear some really great presentation and speeches from amazing guests. Thank you so much. And now, after India, let's go to Pakistan to invite the next amazing young leader, Professor Dia. My dear friends, Dia is doing a really important work for the society, and I want to wish her success in her work. Keep up the good work, my dear. We are always with you. Welcome, and we look forward to your inspiring speech. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, my beautiful and respected Dr. Inga Kurchilava. Thank you so very much. And thank you for having me, respected Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth and team. Yes, you can international. My beautiful and strong lady, Dr. Queen Elizabeth, you and your team is doing a great work to serve the society in a better way. Much gratitude from Pakistan. This is Dr. Dia Chaudhary, founder of United Humanitarians Organization and president of Global Peace Protection Campaign. Good morning and good evening to everyone, most respected, outstanding, and inspirational personalities from all over the globe. It's a matter of happiness for me to join this wonderful conference. Relationship is the basic need for the whole humanity. Today, I will talk about emotional trauma. It's normal to experience traumatic stress following a disturbing event. Whether it's a traffic accident, plane crash, violent crime, terrorist attack, global pandemic, or a natural disaster like an earthquake or flood. You may feel intense shock, confused, and fear, host of conflicting emotions, sometimes at all once. And these emotions are not limited to the people who experienced the event. Round the clock news and social media coverage means that we are all affected with images of tragedy, suffering, and loss almost the instant they occur anywhere in the world. Repeated exposure can your nervous system and create traumatic stress just as if you experience the event firsthand. Traumatic stress can shatter your sense of security, leaving you feel helpless in a dangerous world, especially if the traumatic event such as a shooting or act of terrorism, you may feel physically and emotionally drained, overcome with the grief of find it difficult to focus, sleep, or control your trauma. These are all normal responses to abnormal events. Often, the unsettling thoughts and feelings of traumatic stress, as well as any unpleasant physical symptoms, start to fade as life gradually returns to normal over the days or weeks following a period. Days or weeks following event or crisis, but there's also a lot you can do the assess in your recovery and better come to terms with the trauma, your experience. Whether you live through the event itself, witnessed it, were an emergency responder or medical worker, or experienced traumatic stress in the aftermath, there are plenty of ways to calm your nervous system and regain your emotional balance. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you so
Congratulations,
much. Thank you so
Dr.
much, my wonderful, honorable, respected Professor Dr. Daya Kodahri from Pakistan, a great leader doing a great thing over there. I really, really appreciate your time. I know how busy you are. Probably you are going for another speaking engagement right now. But we appreciate your presence here in our midst and for your word of wisdom and inspiration that you have shared with us this morning, this afternoon, or this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank
you today.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's move on quickly. First of all, I want to acknowledge the presence of Royal Majesty, King Promise. He will be speaking just as immediately after Professor Patrick Mugabe. We really appreciate your time, sir, and we're going to call you shortly after Professor Patrick Mugabe, sir. Thank you. Over to you. Dr. Inga, is it? Or Dr. Ediana? Okay, let me just quickly call. I think we are missing something here. Professor Patrick, can you share?
Yes, yes.
Okay, can you share with
I'm
us
here.
quickly, please?
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
yes,
Quickly.
audible, audible. Welcome, welcome, Professor Patrick.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth, for inviting me here again. And ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a topic that we all encounter in our lives, and that topic is about disappointments. So, disappointments are a universal part of the human experience, whether it's a failed relationship, a missed opportunity, or a dream that didn't come true. We all face moments of letdown and frustration. However, what truly matters is not the disappointments themselves, but how we manage and overcome them. First and foremost, it's essential to acknowledge that disappointments are a natural part of life. No one is immune to them, no matter how successful or fortunate they may appear. In fact, disappointments can be valuable life lessons. They teach us about resilience, adaptation, and the strength of our character. So, when disappointed strikes, it's easy to dwell on the negatives and let it consume us. But I urge you to shift your perspective. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Every setback is an opportunity for growth. Use disappointments as stepping stones to your next success. In times of disappointments, it's crucial to rely on your support system, your friends, and mentors. So share your feelings and seek their guidance. Remember, you don't have to face disappointments alone. They say that a problem shared is a problem halved, and this couldn't be truer when it comes to managing disappointments. Additionally, maintaining a positive mindset is a powerful tool for overcoming disappointments. So this doesn't mean ignoring your emotion. Uh, it means accepting them and choosing to focus on the possibilities ahead. Embrace the belief that something better is on the horizon and your current disappointment is only detour on your journey. So resilience is the key to managing disappointments. Resilient individuals understand that setbacks are temporary and that they possesses the inner strength to bounce back. Cultivate resilience by practicing self-compassion, setting realistic expectations, and nurturing a strong sense of purpose. So furthermore, disappointments are an opportunity to reassess your goals and priorities. They force you to reflect on what truly matters to you. Sometimes what we think we want is not what we need, and a disappointment can be a guiding hand towards a more fulfilling path. Lastly, don't let fear of disappointment hold you back from pursuing your dreams. Embrace the possibility of failure as an inherent part of the journey towards success. As you know, the J.K. Rowling, the famous author, once said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you have failed by default." And in conclusion, managing disappointments is a vital skill in life. It's not about avoiding them, but about how you respond to them that truly matters. So embrace disappointments as opportunities for growth, seek support, maintain a positive mindset, and cultivate resilience. Remember, your path to success is paved with both accomplishments and disappointments, and it's up to you to make the most of every step along the way. Thank you. With this, I would like to congratulate Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth for continuously arranging this Spatial Relationship Matters International Conference every month, and for inviting me, for giving me opportunity to express my thoughts. Once again, congratulations to all the lovely speakers and thank you. With regards, Professor Dr. Pratik, greetings from India.
Thank you so much, Professor Patrick. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. And I want to seize this opportunity to say well done for the great work you are doing out there, and also for representing us greatly as our YYCI ambassador. Thank you so much, sir. And we really appreciate you. Keep up the good works, and congratulations once again on all your achievements. And like you said, you are about to visit us in UK, so I'm looking forward to that. So
yes.
I'm looking forward to meet you here in UK. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So over to you. Permit me to quickly, let me see if His Royal Majesty is in the building. Oh, yes. Okay, like I said, that it is our custom to appreciate our great leaders on this platform, most especially our grand patron and grand matron. I know that every one of us will still want to share one thing or the other. You are going to share. Please bear with us. Stay calm, stay relaxed, and also let us learn from all this wealth of wisdom. So I will personally want to invite His Royal Majesty, Professor, Doctor, Engineer, Ambassador, King, Onyenche, Promise, Obina, the King Royal Crown King, the Australia Royal Supreme Majesty of, I've forgotten now. Please permit me, please, of Eze Ikemba from River State. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Professor Queen Elizabeth.
You're looking good. You are enjoying your summer. Well, we're experiencing cold over here.
Yeah.
Raining seriously over here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be with us again. I know I've missed a lot of the episodes, And today we are celebrating nature, and that is why I'm in a natural environment. I want to, officially congratulate Yes You Can International. I remain His Royal Majesty King Professor Ambassador Nyeche Promise Obina, Grand Patron Yes You Can International, Ezekemba 1, Onyishalolakwa Agrishi, Ancient Kingdom, Eche Ethnicity, Rivers State, Nigeria. Currently the Supreme Commander of African Ancestral Kings and Royalty, Odumezu Mezu, a proud African ancestral commander, a progenitor, and the defender, a warrior of the African ancestry. I want to send my royal greetings and blessings from this ancestral stool to all Yes You Can International patrons, matrons, the coordinating head, person of our very precious Professor Queen Elizabeth and her family, who are bearing the pains of this mission day in, day out. And all coordinators of Yes You Can across the globe, all ambassadors, all associates and members, all partners and co-partners. We love you. We appreciate what you do. You have our spiritual support and prayers, and will not relent to always come online, provided we have the opportunity and the privilege. However, my mission, my role in Yes You Can International is to continuously provide fatherly guidance towards achieving and actualizing the mission and vision of Yes You Can International. And our topical issues today, the borders on relationship matters, is a quite an obvious one, in line with the trend of events that are happening across the globe. Relationship. Most people look at a relationship from the surface. The in-depth of relationship goes beyond the sophistical. The feeling we grew as humans borders on our interpersonal relationship. One, with the Creator. Two, with ourselves. And three, with our fellow humans. For you to have a mental, sound, and healthy relationship, you must put these three phases into consideration. What is your daily relationship with your Creator? We as ancestral beings, because every human is an ancestral being, your ability to identify with who created you through your ancestry makes you to acknowledge that the power that goes beyond your reasoning isn't yours. This world has been in existence years back before you were born. And people pass through this journey before you. And you must rely your feelings, your connectivity, your originality, and your personality to these persons who have existed before you through God who created all. Now, when you align your relationship with your Creator, acknowledging your ancestry, it gives you a sense of balance to value whom you are. Now, in valuing whom you are, you begin to appreciate the purpose at which you are made to exist. By the time you acknowledge the purpose you are meant to exist, you begin to add value to your person. You begin to grow your intellectual space. You begin to expand your knowledge to be a better person, to be of impact to the society, to be a figure of reckoning, to be a point of reflex for positivity, to be a leader of purpose, to be an icon of joy to others. Now, by the time you reevaluate, reintegrate, and reassess your person, you can now go into the third phase of relationship, which has to do with your relationship, your interpersonal relationship with every other human. Now, by the time you acknowledge your creator, your ancestry, evaluate and appreciate yourself, then you will know how to value others, because you cannot give what you don't have. So if you value yourself, if you know the importance of the life you live, and you know the essence of your existence, you equate same to the next person. And I want to say that this topic is the major meal of the hour. Because in valuing yourself and reflecting same value to other persons, you wouldn't want to hurt another. You don't want to take undue advantage of another. You don't want to kill another. You don't want to do things that will negatively impact humanity. Your mental health will be sound and very proactive in order to be conscious of your excesses. The battle of superiority, issues of nepotism, issues of segregation, wars that has broken out across the globe today wouldn't be there if we humans who call ourselves leaders value each other. You will know that that missile you are releasing to another country is going to destroy souls, innocent souls, both citizens and non-citizens of that country are prone to destruction. And you wouldn't want to do that because you understand your interpersonal relationship with your creator. The same blood that flows in your vein is the same blood that flows in the vein of the man you are destroying, the woman you are killing, the environment you are destroying. It is often said that it is quite a crime against nature for you to destroy what you cannot create. A crime against nature for you to destroy what you cannot create. So in building an interpersonal relationship, we must value lives. We must value others' feelings. We must relate the pains we go through daily as humans to the pain another person goes through. And instead of increasing the pains of another, you should help in reducing the pains. There is economic meltdown. There is hunger, there is poverty. There are wars, there are crises. What is the way forward? The human quotient when it comes to relationship has been broken down. When they are dealing with your fellow human, you have less than 30% trust value because the system is so messed up. Be you black, white, an African, a Caribbean, American, whomsoever you are, the trust quotient, the trust level in the world now has drastically reduced because relationship has been so wrongly interpreted. Most people take relationship as an opportunity to gain something from somebody. So if you're into relationship with somebody and you're not gaining anything, you feel discouraged and you back out. Nobody values the principles of relationship, which is anchored on sacrifice, mutual respect, tolerance, and love. For a relationship to be sustained, there must be mutual respect. You must be ready to sacrifice your comfort for the comfort of another. You must be able to show love even when that love is not replicated. The Savior whom we preach today died and sacrificed for humanity. He never expected the reciprocation of his sacrifice. He just did it to save humanity. He never expected anyone to die for him, not to replicate that level of sacrifice. He did not mind what the outcome of that sacrifice would be. He did it and hands up. And that is the ultimate show of love. Now today, the world expects something different. If I'm going into international bilateral trade with you, I expect that I give you A and I get B. Countries that are into war, people send relief items to them from international communities with an ulterior motive as well. Nobody is doing it because, let me support them. Most people, I stand to be quoted. Most people who support countries at war do it with an ulterior motive of what they will gain in future by establishing that relationship. We are talking about relationship matters. We must digress a little from interpersonal relationship to international relationship. Why are Africans today balkanized and being rated as a third or underdeveloped countries? Because the interpersonal relationship established with our colonies was not an effective one. It was not the one born out of sincerity. It was not the one born out of honesty. It was not the one born out of mutual respect. A projection of progressive developmental strides that will grow from generation to generation. It wasn't established on those bases. The relationship was established on the basis of coming in and taking what you want and going back to your country, not considering the future of the African continent. I am speaking on my authority as a Supreme Commander of African Ancestral Kingdom, and I stand to be challenged by anybody. Because I am in Africa, I drink the African water, I breathe the African air. I understand the pain of my people, and I know what relationship have done to us. And we must speak out at this point for people to understand that when you're going into relationship with people, you must not be biased. You must not be mentally psychophatical to project things that will be only favorable to you and not considering the pains and the future of those people you're going into relationship with. Most families today crash because relationships were built on anticipation of favor. You anticipate that, oh, I married this person and I'm going to be favored by this marriage. And when those favors are not coming, the marriage crash. So most relationships today are built on anticipation of gains, favor. And I call it parasitic relationship. Any relationship that is built on what I will gain, what I will gain, what I will gain is parasitic and it will not last. A symbiotic relationship is the most healthy, where you give, even if what you are gaining is not up to what you give, you keep giving. And in time to come, the returns will come because a sower soweth that he might reap. So whatever you sow is what you reap. So if you sow with a mind of being mischievous, you will reap mischievousness. But if you sow with a mind that I am sowing into this relationship, whatever comes up, I will beat my chest to say, I got engaged to this. I played my part. I don't mind what becomes the outcome of it. You will see definitely nature, which is supreme, because God is nature. Nature, which is supreme, will bless you because you have sown with a genuine intention. Back to what I was saying. The soil of Africa is blessed with human and natural resources. Most of the best brains in the world, most of the scientifically grown brains in the world are from Africa. But the destination that has turned out these best brains remains underdeveloped. The resources, the amount of resources Africa has given out to the world cannot be quantified to the development we've gotten. Parasitic relationship. And I want to say that the platform of YYCI International is a godly platform that has made it very obvious and scopious that the world must hear the truth from this platform. Other continents has a fair share of this testimony. But I am speaking from the background as an African king. And I want to say this, and it should be a point of lesson to all. In our personal relationship with people, in our personal relationship with society, in our personal relationship, even with our family, we must not base our expectation on the things we must gain. It will breed selfishness, it will breed greed, it will breed sentiments that will not be healthy to this relationship or to those relationships we establish. So on this note, I want to say that as humans, we must be able to ventilate our will, emotion, and desire. What do I mean? On daily basis, go through your activities, x-ray your involvement with people, and be able to examine yourself if you are being fair to your fellow human. What is your level of commitment to your fellow human? And how fair have you been in your daily commitment? Because relationship is a daily thing, it's an hourly thing, it's a minute by minute thing. It is a continuous field of activity. That is relationship. It's not something you do and you run away. If you're in an academic institution, you keep learning, you keep learning, you keep learning, having expectation to graduate someday and become a better person. So in a relationship, you keep studying the relationship you are into, you keep ventilating your mind, you keep putting corrective measures to those areas you're not doing well. If you don't ventilate your mind, you cannot put corrective measures. Even when you are being corrected, you will never take correction because you have not ventilated your mind. You've not x-rayed your activities. You've not re-examined your person. You've not placed that consciousness in your daily activities. So having said this, I want to recommit my activities to YYCI International. This is our baby. YYCI is our baby. As a grand patron, is our obligation, whether we are on this platform on weekly or monthly basis or not. Every week, every day, our mind is with you. Our prayers are with you. Our commitments and dedications are with you. And we go through your activities in our quiet time to always know the areas we are doing it right and the areas we should advise. And we'll keep on providing this fatherly advice.
Internet connection. We're waiting. I think it's rounding up now.
And we appreciate this opportunity. We appreciate this platform. And by God's willing, we'll keep making all of us proud. Thank you once more for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you to the
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you, sir. Excellency, His Royal Majesty, Professor, Engineer, King, Ambassador Oyenche. Promise. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing, 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 amazing. The words we've received this morning or this afternoon and this evening, and it has been awesome listening to all great leaders, especially our patron this morning. Welcome, sir. And I believe we will continue to be together. I know how busy you are, our King Promise, and we still appreciate your time, especially when you are making me too jealous about your environment, because at the moment it's outpouring here in UK and we are cold, feeling cold here. I have to buy my ticket to come quickly and come to enjoy to enjoy the atmosphere there.
You have to come and feel the natural serenity of the environment. Nature is beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
To our great matron, can you permit 2 people, please, because their phone battery, one way or the other, is running out. So, and in some other parts of the country, which I will not mention, you can have your battery can run out and then there is no electricity to charge it. I'm not mentioning any country now. So, my queen sister, please permit these 2 people to quickly share before you share your thoughts. And also, Professor Dr. Ruben is about to leave to go and speak in another engagement.
Dr. Queen, can you hear me?
Hello? Who is speaking? Okay, let me quickly invite Professor Dr. Ruben Garcia from Peru to quickly share with us.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you once again. Greetings from Peru. Great. Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
Great. So in my turn to speak on how to forgive ourselves and be free, I just come up with a question. The first question that I would like to ask you is, do you struggle to self-forgive? If we think about a particular thing you might have done over which you experience self-condemnation, are you distressed by guilt, remorse, and shame associated with your transgression? Do you feel like a failure when you think about it? Do you have trouble getting past it? There's a feeling of dread. And oh no, I simply can't believe I did that. Feeling make you break out in a cold sweat at the memory of your mess up. Well, most people have experienced times when they simply messed up and hurt someone they know. Individuals who experience self-condemnation and self-blame associated with specific interpersonal offenses and are willing to work hard to bring about changes. Are you courageous enough to face up to your own failures? Are you self-controlled enough? Perhaps you've tried to forgive or excuse yourself for some transgression before emotional self-forgiveness has eluded you. You still experience the same self-blame and condemnation with which you initially struggled, maybe not quite as often or as intensely, but it is still there. Now, is the best time to start to recapture your shame-free life. Now is the time to get yourself on the road to freedom from the regret. Now is the time to break the chains that have shackled you to the past. Let me share with you 6 steps to forget or to force yourself and breaking free from the past. So it's important to forget yourself and breaking free from the past. So, because if we can mention step 1 as receive divine forgiveness, we can say that people need little more than a daily routine to encounter numerous opportunities to experience self-condemnation. Shame suffocates us after committing an offense of omission, such as forgetting an anniversary or not defending a friend whose character is questioned. Unfortunately, at some point, we all will also fail to meet expectations and neglect to perform behaviors expected to us. In the process of self-forgiveness, you are both a perpetrator and victim of an offense. You try to believe the best about yourself, and you want to act according to own values, priorities, and beliefs. But none of us can escape the reality of harm and disappointment that cause others. In fact, transgression rarely affects us one person. There's always collateral damage. And we must begin the self-forgiveness process by looking beyond ourselves. We must seek the forgiveness available in God, nature, or humanity in general to restore wholeness to our fragmented life. If we can mention step number 2, repair relationships, how important we always say here, yes, you can, relationship matters, because the gift of divine forgiveness, a restored sense of connection, of closeness with whatever you hold to be sacrificed, is an essential first step in the self-forgiveness process. However, alone it cannot repair the social damage caused by our actions or even psychological damage from rumination and unrealistic expectations. To self-forgive responsibly, the next step is to make amends with those whom we have harmed. Other people are crucial to the process of self-forgiveness. Focuses on ourselves leads to self-blame and shame, but focusing on others promotes healing and self-forgiveness. In step number 3, we can say rethink ruminations. When people dwell on negative thoughts and images, they can also experience symptoms of poor mental health. Rumination, which is the act of obsessing over negative thoughts and images, has been associated with numerous anxiety and mood disorders, although worry can motivate us by reinforcing productive work toward a goal. Rumination causes us to dwell on emotion-based questions and get stuck in unproductive patterns of thinking. So what's the difference between worry and rumination? Worry focuses on a problem and reasons to a solution. Rumination drowns us in a sea of repetitive emotion-focused questions, doubts, and fear. When we ruminate, we focus on the worst parts of our lives. And step 4 is to reach self-forgiveness. Because self-forgiveness doesn't happen overnight. Even though you made a sincere decision to try to forgive yourself for the offense you are concentrated on, you might still experience self-condemning emotions such as sadness, fear, or anger. For this reason, we must distinguish between decisional and emotional self-forgiveness. decisional self-forgiveness is an important part of the self-forgiveness process. However, it is unlikely that you will feel immediately better after deciding to self-forgive. Instead, making a decision is the first step, and you must strengthen your decision by actively pursuing emotional self-forgiveness. In step 5, we rebuild self-acceptance. Victory is hard won in the battle for self-forgiveness as a way of reducing or eliminating self-condemnation. But unfortunately, forgiving yourself is also not the end of the war. Perhaps our most troublesome problem is this: how do I accept myself as valuable when I am more flawed than ever believed to be possible? Self-condemnation threatens how we think about ourselves. It drives a wedge between who we are and who we want to be. This problem arises for multiple reasons. First, it is possible that we believe we are no longer able to live up to our own or others' standards of our expectations. For example, consider the anguish of a soldier whose wartime actions violate previously held moral beliefs, a spouse caught in an affair, or a parent who lost control disciplining an non-compliant child. It's very important to take in mind. And the final step I can mention in order to forgive ourselves is to resolve to live virtuously, or to resolve to live virtuously, or to have a virtuous life. In this step, a conflict rages inside each of us. Although we are flawed, we are also capable of seeking virtue and godness. Unfortunately, wrongdoing often causes people to withdraw and foreclose on any effort to lead a virtuous and good life. The blaze of self-condemnation may consume our efforts towards character and moral growth if we are not careful. We must instead become aware of our wrongdoing and the consequences of our actions in order to responsibly self-forgive and lead a life of virtue. However, we are not alone on our quest. How we think about, we behave toward ourselves depends upon the influence of our relationships to the divine and others. In this way, our relationships function as valuable tools to build a healthy self-concept and virtuous life. Growth, therefore, is frequently the product of community, but like us, our relationships are undeniably flawed interpersonal offenses. At the end, so what we finish, we can say that if you believe your struggle is completely over, you're setting yourself up to disappointed. We all experience doubts, but we must hold on our commitment to self-forgive and resolve to lead a virtuous life in the future. Thank you very much for your kind attention, your kind listening. Greetings from Peru.
Greetings, dear professor. As always, you are really very amazing. Many thanks to Professor Ruben for your time, for an inspiring speech. Thank you. God bless you. Keep up the amazing work. As always, you are the best. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks to you. My pleasure.
I also want to thank our president from Peru. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Ruben Garcia. Thank you so much, sir, for your wisdom and for your presence here today in this our great conference. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks a bunch.
Now let's go from Peru to Bangladesh and meet your beautiful and smart educator, Ambassador Professor Faiza. Welcome, my dear, and now this stage is yours. Best wishes. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, dear Inga and my dear Professor Queen Elizabeth, for inviting me on this wonderful conference. I think this is a very important initiative that Yes We Can has working on to inspire and encourage even for the youth to ignite their mind with that thoughtful understanding on every aspects of life from the core. So I really appreciate this whole concept and feeling so great to be part of it. So today I'll be reflecting on that topic of how to overcome trauma and emotional breakdown. So let's have a look on this. The trauma can be described as a disorder of the nervous system. Earlier also the other speaker, I was listening to her, she really described all the other aspects so beautifully. So I'm not going to repeat the same thing. I'll skip that part. So that nervous system, when actually you have faced such trauma and go through this shock, it's that hyperactivating that the system, the sympathetic nervous system trauma constantly creates strong reactions, to trigger of that anxiety and the fear. This is like combination of so many different emotions at the time, which actually encourage and ignite that person to continue and go with that even more. At some point they might lose their own understanding about their self, that they are having this kind of trauma and emotional breakdown. If somebody else closely cannot identify or don't notice, they might can harm themselves. This sort of depression and breakdown actually most of the time, majority time, led them to commit suicide or to become suicidal. It's a very alarming sign if we are not taking it carefully or not seeing it carefully as a family and friends. So for each individual, definitely it works or it affects differently. So an emotional breakdown, on the other hand, also known as a nervous breakdown, that mental breakdown or mental health crisis is period of severe emotional distress where a person may feel paralyzed and entirely incapable of coping with life's challenges, says any kind of challenge, sadness or upset, or it could be with family, parents, teachers. They kind of don't know how to cope those situations. And clinically also psychologist and professor, if I recall that name, Yashiba also address it. It's clinically proven that childhood trauma could create that distress even when you are growing up with that conscious state of awareness and upbringing. At some point deep down, all these feelings and trauma can actually keep on piling up, and that can attack you anytime at any age. So, and my analysis and witness, the name practically is the same results that I witnessed when I was counseling few of my friends and others. In fact, they tend to be suicidal in a majority time cases, more than 4, 5, 6 times even. So awareness of overall wellness is a priority to start from family, friends, environment. So what is the difference between an emotional breakdown and an emotional meltdown? Meltdowns occur when people feel overloaded with something. When the stimulus causing the meltdown goes away, people feel drained but return to balance rather quickly. But they don't know how to organize those things and how to actually react. When people doesn't know how to react and how to handle, it's a big kind of black hole for that person, and it could lead them to any kind of dangerous situation to commit for themselves and for others as well. So nervous breakdown, on the other hand, is a mental breakdown. It's more often the results of long-term psychological stress. It is sometimes you cannot feel or understand that person is going through this kind of meltdown. So how long does breakup or how that problems actually cause someone to develop in their mind? Most of the time you will see it comes from trauma, that breakup, relationship, family, parents, divorce. There are so many other areas. Generally, these are very emotional, sentimental part of human life and human mind, and they actually pour their heart and soul it kind of become difficult for people when they face certain kind of breakup and distance from someone close. The most debilitating aspects of grief will begin to subside within 6 months most of the time. However, there is no specific timeline to regarding how long breakup grief will take for someone or individuals to deal with it. So other mental health disorders could turn into complicated grief or prolonged to grief disorder more than that comes from when a person is generally very empathetic or a person is generally very selfish. So these both two traits actually can lead these people to commit the same result, which is dangerous for themselves or for the others. So selfish kind of mindset will always try to attempt attack on others, for their own reaction, for their own disability or dysfunctions. So if you are headed towards a mental breakdown for people, or maybe these people can experience episodes of feelings helpless or uncontrollable crying, and always they feel like they left over, they are alone, there is no one, or no one is loving them, no one is caring for them. That gap can pile those thoughts in a higher state, where that person at some point they develop that numbness of their brain, their physical movement. It kind of hold them to do anything. They lost interest into life, into work, into relationship, into family, everything. So you will majority time you will see that emotional outburst or that feelings of uncontrollable anger also can cause that hyper blood pressure, that stroke, brain stroke, all these disease. They even can develop all these diseases in deep down if their blood flow is not normal state, because when you are stressing over something, your biological function changes. All this blood flow can go over and it can go under. So both way it's gonna cause you different kind of other diseases, other problems to deal with. So at some point you will see that it's basically gonna draw someone's life into a hazard. I think here some ideas to get started with, who are friends and family, if they notice this sort of signs in their relatives or anyone, to guide them to adapt stress reducing routines and to guide them towards meditation and learn to be into silent environment and listening to their inner voice. Sometimes there's another problem here. I see that people doesn't know how even to listen to themselves, how to know themselves. So there are a lot of other areas that it's connected to this kind of breakdowns and emotional trauma. This trauma becomes so easy for weak-minded people because they always depend on others and try to do everything by depending on mom, depending on father, mother, husband, wife. So when something happens, when people changes or some kind of contract doesn't work the way they plan, they cannot take that shock. They doesn't know how to deal with it, how to cope up with this, and how to take responsibility for their own selves and to respect the other as well. Therefore, I always emphasize on educating the mind is very important. Self-development is must thing to acknowledge. Without that, it's impossible to focus on all the other area, all the other aspects of life. On that note, I think we all should be encouraging people to focus on mental and physical wellness. It's very, very important. At the same time, to inject self-learning approach, to become self-master. Self-mastery could be a great guideline, or it could be your own psychologist to guide you through. So once you start loving yourself, listening to yourself, and you know the difference that you have your job, you have your opinion, your decision making rights, the same way the other person also have, and people will change throughout the time. We are the element of changing. We are evolving every day. 5 years back, I wasn't like this. It was different. Maybe it's because we are learning. Every day we are learning, we are changing towards growth. So same works for the worst even. If you focus on negative and wrong thing, bad thing, you are actually increasing that level of idea and understanding and mindset for yourself. First thing that you need to identify your conscious state, which is good, which is bad for you, then find that common ground and start working on yourself. Take baby steps, bring those habits into your daily life routine, and go with the flow. Don't be hard on yourself. If you make some mistakes or you had some previous past history which is traumatized or sad and bad, I personally insist and advise, please learn to forgive yourself, have ease on yourself, comfort yourself, treat yourself. Don't depend on somebody else to come to you and hand it to you. So once you learn to do it for yourself, trust me, you will be some kind of ideological person to look up to you. You will inspire others to go through this positive outline and build their life, career, personal, professional, and everything. Yeah, I think on that note, I'd like to end my speech, and my final take will be that physical, mental, emotional trauma and breakdown, these are very core, integrated, integral part of human beings. So we should not take it lightly. We should not ignore it. Please, if someone faces this, acknowledge it, care for it.
Thank you
You
so
very
much. Thank you so much. You've really, really enlightened us with your educative and inspirational nuggets this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening. And we want to say thank you so much for your patience and for eventually you were able to share. Because imagine if we miss this. That's why I keep begging, please, I want to beg everyone. Yes, we started
Absolutely.
and we want you all
I
to
was going through the problem of internet connection in my
yeah, I
Dhaka,
know.
the main building of all the server, even the phone data. So they got into fire. So it's become very, everyone is trying to use
Thank you.
connection,
Thank you.
not
Thank you so
stable.
much. Thank you. We really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we want to quickly move on and I don't know who is calling the next person. Please, can we quickly call them? And please stick to your time, so that because we still have great leaders on this platform. I still have Honorable Mr. Toromade is still going to speak. My big brother from Nigeria, great leader, Ambassador Dr. Anagwo is still going to speak. My Bishop Nelson is going to speak. Professor Raymond is going to speak. Professor Suraya is going to speak. So every one of you, we are still going to speak. So let's stick to the time. Thank you so much for being patient with us. My mentor, wow, Professor Charles, where have you been? He's also going to share with us his great wisdom as well. So please, I have my amazing Ambassador Manat Rapako. I see you there. You're still going to speak. And every one of you, even Ambassador Agnes, I've seen my professor from Nigeria, from Wisdom University. Sir, you're going to speak to us today, so please be ready. And every one of you, even my own president, Afolabi, is going to speak. Princess Victoria, you're still going to speak. So please, let's stick to the time, and please be patient with us. Dr. Professor Sobrata, thank you so much for joining us. We're still going to learn. And our matron is waiting patiently to share all our wisdom with us. So please, I can only beg you to be patient with us. My own PA
No problem.
is in the house as well. So let's call on, who are we calling on? Dr. Ambassador Motola, because she's about to leave us. And then we start rotating. After Dr. Omotola Shobowale, can we quickly call on, after Dr. Omotola, can we call on Professor Raymond, please, immediately after Dr. Omotola Shubowale. Okay, thank you.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Good
hear you.
morning.
We can
Okay, all
see you.
right. Good
Now we can see
morning.
you. Yes.
Okay, sorry, it's dark here. It's
That's
raining.
fine.
The
That's
everywhere
fine.
is cloudy.
That's fine.
Okay.
That is the challenges we are all facing all over the world. So that's fine. Your voice, your presence is very important than the light that is not there. So
Okay,
keep
ma.
us
Thank you
quickly.
for that.
Please
Okay.
stick to the
So
time,
good
please.
morning, good afternoon, good evening from every part of the country. My name is Dr. Ambassador Omotola Shubowale. I want to seize this opportunity to say a very big thank you to our Royal Highness in person of Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas for giving me this opportunity and all protocols duly observed. Greetings from Nigeria once again. Now I want to go to my topic which says how to resolve conflicts. We cannot talk about how to resolve conflicts without knowing the concept itself, conflict. So that brings me about the definition of conflict. What is conflict? Conflict is said to be the disagreements, arguments, quarrel, differences between group of individuals, parties without reaching a compromise. It can stem from differences in values, objectives, need, interest, or perception. Conflict can manifest at various levels, from individual to family, from family to society, and from the society globally. Conflict can lead to physical, emotional, environmental damage when it is not resolved immediately. So now we have different types of conflicts, but I'm going to talk about four major types of conflicts. One is interpersonal conflicts. It is the conflict between two or more people, and as a result of that, it brings about egoism, policy, and decision making. The number two aspect is intrapersonal conflicts. When we talk about intrapersonal, that comes within. That is, it is a conflict within oneself as a result of negative thoughts in the mind. Number three aspect is intergroup relations conflicts. It is a conflict that exists between nations or ethnic groups. And as a result of racism, discrimination, and war. And you can see that nations are rising against nations now. We are having different wars rising in all the countries. But I just pray that it will stop very soon. We will not encounter war again in Jesus' name. Number four aspect is intra-group conflicts. It is a conflict that occurs between friends, family members, and staff of an organization. And this is as a result of business, friendship, or relationship conflict. Now we move to the ways of resolving conflicts. And you know, every of the speakers that have been speaking have been talking about relationship. Relationship is something we cannot do without. In fact, man cannot do without relationship. It is inevitable in man's daily activities. So, conflict resolution is the process of resolving or addressing disputes or disagreements between individuals or group of people. So, number one, active listening. For us to resolve conflict, we must be active listening. Do not listen to one party alone. Try as much as possible to listen to both parties so as to know how to settle their disputes. Another ways of resolving conflict is effective communication. Like we all know, communication is very important. If we did not communicate effectively to one another, it's going to create conflict. And so more so, that is not the reason why in any of the ways we want to use in communicating, we should be effectively using it so as not to bring conflict. Then another point is effective leadership. Leadership is very paramount in all business of life, in all dailies of life. Everyone is a leader. You are a leader in your house, you are a leader in your family, you are a leader in your church, your organization. So each and every of the individuals must adopt leadership style or leadership skill. Is very, very paramount because it helps in solving conflict. The last one is collaboration. Collaboration means the act of what? Of coming together to share opinion, view, perspective, and to build relationship. So of all the points I've listed, for you to be able to resolve conflict, you must have effective communication, effective leadership skills, collaboration, and active listening. You must have a good listening ear to the parties. So in conclusion, in order for one to resolve conflict and to come to a compromise or an agreement, we should build effective relationship and should always make use of these five magic words. I call it five magic words. I know some people knows it, but I'm going to say it. The five magic words are please, excuse me, sorry, thank you, pardon me. If we are able to use these five magic words, then we'll be able to resolve every form of conflict. And I have two quotes that I want to quote in order to conclude my speech. As the number one quote is, one love keep us together, united we stand, divided we fall. Thank you.
I'm just enjoying your speech, especially with your last words of one love coming together. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Omotola. Okay, let me just be careful of myself today and not waste your time. Can our, is it Dr. Inga or Dr. Ediana to call quickly on, oh, I think it's oh no, he's here. Professor Raymond, please, quickly.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Amazing speech for enlightening us. Now let's call our great leader, Professor Raymond Banzola from Philippines. Please welcome, sir. The
Okay,
stage
before
is
you speak,
yours.
sir, Professor Raymond, before you speak, sir, I have a very special announcement. The next person that will be speaking after Professor Raymond is our Queen Mother and also our matron. Can I encourage us all to open our camera because it's very important that she really, really be encouraged to speak, and especially for all our speakers, because I noticed that even when our patron was speaking, many people didn't switch on. We want to encourage our leaders. That's why they are on our platform. So please find it very important, please, that we open our camera just for that moment and for the rest of today. And also, can I also encourage you? I've got my own glass mugs of tea and water here. Can you please, we've been sitting for almost 2 years, 2 hours now. Please, if you have to drink, please drink. If you have to stand up and stretch yourself, please do. It's part of what we are doing by taking good care of ourselves. So please feel free to stand up, walk around, as long as you just make sure your video is not on so that we don't see all the activities behind the scene. But once you're sitting down to listen and to enjoy this atmosphere and learn from all our wealth of wisdom, our great leaders, then you can sit down and open your camera. Thank you so much. It's very important. I still appreciate all our great leaders on this platform. Okay, Professor Raymond.
Thank you so much, Dr. Queen Elizabeth, Coach Diana, for a warm welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Mabuhay from the Philippines. I am truly honored to be invited as a speaker to this prestigious transformational leadership conference with relationship matter as the underlying theme today. So I want to address a vital aspect of relationship solving conflicts. All right, so conflicts are an inevitable aspect of human interactions, whether at work, home, or within communities. Conflicts can arise due to differing opinions, interests, or values. However, the ability to resolve conflicts skillfully is what distinguishes exceptional leaders. Firstly, I'd like to emphasize the importance of effective communication in conflict resolution. Often conflicts escalate due to miscommunication or the lack of it altogether. To prevent misunderstandings, leaders should encourage open and honest dialogues, actively listen to all parties involved, and empathize with their perspective. Show respect by valuing their opinions, even if they differ from yours. By adopting a collaborative approach, you foster an environment where conflicts can be constructively resolved. Next, is it essential to foster a culture of mutual respect and understanding? When individuals feel valued and respected, they are more willing to engage in resolving conflicts peacefully. Encourage team building activities, promote inclusivity, and create a safe environment where differences are celebrated. A diverse set of perspectives can often lead to innovative solutions and stronger relationships. Conflict resolution also requires leaders to embrace compromise. Instead of focusing on one's individual interests, leaders should seek a common ground that benefits everyone involved. This may involve making concessions or finding creative alternatives. By demonstrating flexibilities, leaders set an example for others to follow, promoting a more collaborative and harmonious environment. Furthermore, conflict resolution entails effective problem solving skills. Leaders should encourage individuals to identify and understand the root cause of the conflict by addressing underlying issues rather than merely dealing with surface level disputes. So leaders can prevent conflicts from resurfacing in the future, encourage brainstorming sessions to generate a variety of potential solutions, and facilitate discussions to choose the most agreeable option. And lastly, conflicts can be avoided through nurturing positive relationships with other promotes trust and understanding. Leaders should take the time to know their team members on a personal level, fostering a sense of camaraderie and unity. Encourage regular feedback sessions where concerns can be addressed promptly, preventing conflicts from escalating. So to sum up, it is our duty as leaders to encourage wholesome relationships by skillfully settling disagreements. We may establish a peaceful atmosphere where disagreements are viewed as chances for development and deeper understanding by placing a strong emphasis on open communication, mutual respect, compromise, problem-solving abilities, and healthy relationships. Remember, conflicts are not always negative. They can be transformative if approached with the right mindset. So, by mastering conflict resolution, we can lead our teams and communities towards a future anchored in strong relationship. So, sorry if I can't last long. I just have to finish my deadlines. But once again, thank you so much to Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas for this opportunity, and congratulations to Yes You Can International. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Raymond Basuela from Philippines. And thank you as well for your input that you've shared with us this afternoon, this evening, this morning. I also want to thank you for the short time that you have for us, because I know you need to go now. But one thing I want you to appreciate you for is what you've done for us last month during our anniversary, or the videos that you covered. I want to use this opportunity to say thank you so much for your services. I also want you to know that maybe you didn't notice, we've used some of your videos to start off our program today for the timer. So we're still using your video, especially for the timer and also for Yes You Can information. So thank you so much, sir. And thank you for everything. Okay, we need to move on quickly because I'm checking the time. So over to you, my great men, my great cheerleaders. Oh, okay, yes, it's my turn. Sorry, it's my turn to quickly invite my own queen sister, my confidant, my friend, and also our national matron of Yes You Can International. She's been traveling all over the world. That is why we've been missing her. But now she's back to the house. So we are blessed in this conference today. We have our patron joining us, and now we are having our matron joining us, and many patrons and matrons are joining us. We're still going to call on Bishop Nelson because he's also one of our patrons. So let me just use this time to welcome Her Excellency, Royal Majesty, Queen Nadia Ari Iri. You're welcome, ma'am.
Hi, greetings everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Perfect.
you from France.
Yes, greetings from France. Namaste to everyone. Wow. It's just a pride for me to be here and to be one of the matron of Yes You Can International and to have one of the best queen sister, Dr. Queen Elizabeth. She is just an amazing personality, and this topic of relationship is just needed at this time and this period and season of our time. I have learned a lot today from different people. I loved all what I heard, and it's just amazing. Well, what I will say today. So, relationship matters. Yes. We have multitude and billion facets of relationship. The relationship of with your siblings, the relationship with your family, relationship between nations, relationship with your dog, relationship with God, relationship with your car, for example. We have some people, they love their car, they have good relationship with their car. Doesn't matter this kind of relationship. But what we have to understand that all this relationship, all these facets of relationship that we have around us have one and only source, one and only cause. Doesn't matter if you have good or bad relationship. There is one and only source, and it is the relationship with yourself. If you want to understand the relationship with the others, you have to understand the relationship with yourself first. Why I'm saying that? Because you are developing different relationship with yourself, and then later it is a consequence of what you have within you and experiencing with the others. And you don't even know. Sometimes you have bad relationship with people and you don't even understand why. So the question is to understand at what time you have created this relationship, why you are facing that. And the answer is within you. Just an example to understand. Sometimes we meet some people, they are our friends, they are our family, or just people that we meet like that in the street. So we look at, it's just an example. We look at a beautiful woman, she is just amazing, and she is successful and different. she's representing this different aspect of what you love. And from that moment, you start a comparison between you and this person. You start to develop like an envy. Later, this envy can become a jealousy. So this energy that you have developed is the birth of the conflict between you and yourself. This is how the conflict is born. It is born through a rejection of yourself. Because when you start to compare yourself to the others, you are dead. You are already in conflict and in bad relationship with yourself. So if you are in bad relationship with yourself, how you want to develop the good relationship with the others? See our world. We have these conflicts in the world. And we are more focused on the conflict than on solution. Because we are not healed yet. And to be healed, you have to understand first what is going on. You will tell me, but what I have to do with the conflict between Palestine and Israel? No, you are also responsible of this conflict. How? Because there is one and only spirit. And we all together are just an extension or physical extension of the one and only spirit. So what we are doing in reality, we are exchanging informations between one another. And because of that, we don't even know that sometimes we are putting a spell to one another without understanding. And all that, it's because the lack of knowing yourself. This ignorance of who you are really is the cause of everything. If you don't know who you are, this is true. You can't even understand the relationship with yourself. But the beauty of this world is that we are a mirror to one another. So if you don't find what is the problem within you and with yourself, observe around you, because the other is trying to teach you something that you have to learn within yourself. So the conflict that you see around you is also a conflict that you have to correct within yourself. Otherwise, you will never see it. You see only what is within yourself. This world around you is a reflection of what you see. So, for example, there's one thing very important. You will tell me, but who I am? Who I am finally. We have heard, I am the light, I am the spirit, I am the soul, I am that. Yes, in reality, you are all that. You are the light. But the light has different, there are so many perspectives of the light. The light is only white, is not only white. The light is also blue, gray, green, yellow. There are so many aspects and beautiful spectrum of the light. And you are all that. So by understanding the relationship with the others, you have to understand the relationship with yourself and listen to yourself. You are also an expression, physical expression. I mean, you are not only energy vibrating. And this physical body is also representing you. And this physical body is also pain, asking for attention from you. So you have to listen to it. You have to take care of it and not comparing yourself to the others. Listen to your thought. Listen to your emotion. Observe yourself. Observe the relationship with yourself. Develop the love and this good relationship with yourself in order to avoid all the conflict that you can face with the others. Because see, from the beginning, this envy or jealousy that you have within you is an energy, but this energy will never die. Because it's energy, it's alive. So slowly, slowly, this energy will ask for to survive. And this energy will become like an entity that later you will call demons. This is how hatred is born. Hatred destroying the relationship between nations. So this energy from the beginning that is born within yourself should be really, you should pay attention to it and transform it immediately, and not to feed it, because it will do its best to bring you to grow up. And then you are prisoner of your emotions, of your thoughts, and everything becomes dark around you, because you will attract exactly what you feel within yourself. So it's very important what I am telling you, because these energies, you have to heal them, transform them in order to transcend to another level. Otherwise, it will never be possible. And because of this kind of energy, the humanity is completely lost. What we are doing, we are fighting one another. We are killing one another. We are stealing lands to one another. We are stealing resources to one another. We are not respecting the others because we don't have really respect to us of who we are. And because of this lack of knowing ourselves, it's better to focus on who you are. And then when you discover who you are, you will think, now I know who I am, but finally, where I am. I know who I am, but I don't know where I am. In reality, you are everywhere, because everyone is a mirror of yourself. So someone who is suffering is also you. Someone who is stealing is also you. Someone who is killing, it's also you. You are not even aware of what is going on. So we are all responsible of what is happening. And the relationship that we have with one another, we have to heal it, because we are at the door of a big war, international war. And if we don't heal this part of ourselves and exchanging good information between ourselves, it will be catastrophic. Yes, communication, business, leadership, all what I heard, trauma and all that, yes, they have one and only source, the relationship with yourself, and only the relationship with yourself. Nothing else. Correct your relationship with yourself. There is one and only key, love. Only love can heal humanity and heal all the relationship in this world. And you will see, when we are healed, we will realize that we are all connected. Like this internet connecting all together, we are connected like that. So yes, we are all responsible of the good or bad relationship that we can see and face around us. And when we see bad relationship between nations, between families, between anything, if we see it in front of us, it's because we have something to correct within yourself. So start by getting a good relationship with yourself. Listen to your body, listen to your thought, listen to your emotion, and observe them in order to transform them, because every thought, every emotion, every reaction from you is energy, and energy vibrating at a certain frequency gives the matter. And this is why we are in mental problem, we are in trauma, we are in difficulties, in conflict with ourselves. So thank you so much. I'm sorry I have spoken too much, probably.
No, you never speak too much, because we are gaining more wisdom and knowledge from what you've said. And even if we have to give you 1 hour, you deserve, because you are a mother of nation. And as the matron of YYCI, we appreciate you. We appreciate your thought. We appreciate, because it's coming directly from your heart. And that is the most important thing. And it melts our heart as well. So
thank you so much, my queen sister. My queen sister, this is very important also to notice that I have one last message to say to everyone. The matter, the resources, the titles, all this material is dividing us and bringing us to a bad relationship with one another. But we have just to remember one thing. Nothing, absolutely nothing belongs to us in this world.
Yes.
Nothing belongs to us in this world. So what we are fighting for, nothing belongs to this world. This body, we are living it when we depart from this world. So stop fighting, just find a solution, and that's it. Thank you.
Yes. Another thing I would like to add to that one as well is that we cannot gain anything from causing violent, making wars. Instead, we are damaging the lives of the innocent. So only if we can just sit on the table, round the table, and make and dialogue on any issues that is worrying individual, and also for us to gain better understanding. Because when we gain better understanding, then there will be peace in our heart and peace in this world. Remember that we are all human beings created by God Almighty. So we cannot gain anything by violence or by force, because in this world, we are full of resources that can meet everybody's needs. So why are we fighting each other? And sometimes when we fight people, do you know that you are fighting yourself? Because you are endangering yourself and then endangering others around you. So why are we fighting? So only if we can change our mindset and look beyond what we are seeing and change our mindset, renewing our mindset with positive thoughts.
Dr. Queen, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
So I want to say thank you so much, my queen sister, Queen Nadia Ariri from France, the founder of Success World.
Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now I want to invite the next amazing queen, also Queen Victoria Goodwill. I hope I cite the name correctly. Please share your opinion with us now. The stage is yours, dear Queen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so delighted to speak at this moment. I've actually been having a lot of meetings because we have been having meetings with African Union leaders. So I'm going to be speaking on emotional, how to handle our emotion breakdown. You know, in our society, during all relationships are very important. The relationships we have with our friends, with our family, and with people we work with. So sometimes when this relationship crashes, it gives us a lot of breakdown, especially trauma. And how can we overcome all these traumas and breakdown? Trauma can actually lead to depression. Trauma can also lead us to feeling suicidal. So how can we overcome all these emotional traumas? Number one is by putting ourselves first. Number two is by loving ourselves. Because if we don't love ourselves, if we don't appreciate ourselves, if we don't take care of our well-being, we can easily break down, both physically, spiritually, mentally, and otherwise. Handling conflict and trauma is very important because a life without peace is nothing. When you don't have inner peace within you, it's nothing. And sometimes the only person that can help us overcome all our emotional breakdowns and trauma is God. I remember once that I lost a very close friend. I was broken. I didn't even know what to do. I put a hold on my organization because of being broken. But when I realized that I'm a leader, and as a leader I need to be strong, I started praying, developing myself, reading, sitting out with friends, watching educational programs on the TV. These too can help us overcome emotional breakdown. These too can also help us come out of it, because emotional breakdown is very deterrent to the health. Once you are broken, you won't be able to function in any part of society that you are in. So, to overcome all these breakdowns is by loving yourself, developing yourself, and also having people to talk to, especially having people to talk to. When you are broken down, you can call any of your mentor and they will lead you through the process by giving you word of encouragement, word of advice, and also some books that can help you overcome the trauma. So it's very, very important that we actually love ourselves and put ourselves above. Because when you love yourself, no matter what you do, you'll be able to overcome it. I want to use this opportunity too to thank Dr. Professor Queen Elizabeth Lucas. She has been a wonderful mentor, and Queen Nadia. She has also been a very wonderful mentor. And believe you me, I learned a lot from what she just finished saying, because we all need to know that there is nothing that we are living with in this world, and take care of ourselves while we are alive, and take care of our mental health while we are also alive. So thank you so much, YYCI International, for giving me the opportunity to also share the little knowledge on what I know about emotional breakdown. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Princess Queen Victoria Godwin from Nigeria. We really love you. We appreciate you. We thank you. And for the great works we are doing in Africa, especially in Nigeria, with all our eagles, our champions. And thank you so much. I just want to appreciate you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for the valuable speech that you've shared with us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes. Before we move on, because I just want to know that Professor Dr. Sabrata, are you here? Professor David Moradinye, are you here? I can see Wisdom University Conferences here. I believe you're here. I just want to make sure that we are all here because we will soon be calling you. Ambassador Joseph Odese, are you here? Ambassador Azagil, are you here? Professor Bishop, definitely I can see you. Oh, Professor Ambassador Mary from South Africa. How's mom doing? Is mom okay? Okay, good, good, good. I really appreciate you all. Professor Dr. Kampola, you are here. Professor Soraya, yes, you are here. I'm just trying to check because we're moving on. Our Reverend Father Ben Basilia, you are here from Philippines. Thank you so much. Ambassador Agnes, you are still here. My PA, you are here. Good, good, good. Oh, Dr. Stephen Karam. Okay, we're going to call you soon. Ambassador Dennis, you are here. Pastor Ambassador Alexandra Botek from Ghana. Oh, Professor Dr. Samina Evelyn, yes, you are here. Oh, thank you so much. I can see that we are still here patiently. I promise you before 2 o'clock, we will be finishing soon. But before then, let me quickly give an announcement. And after that, we call on, I think the person, they know who to call. Okay, so let me quickly share this to you, please.
Relationships, they're the foundation of our lives. But let's face it, they can be tough. Conflict arises, emotions boil over, and maintaining a healthy connection becomes a challenge. But what if we told you there's a book that can change it all? Introducing Relationship Matters: How to Solve Conflict, Maintain and Keep Relationships, and Manage Emotions. This comprehensive guidebook, written by relationship experts, offers practical solutions to transform your relationships. Discover effective conflict resolution strategies that promote peaceful communication and understanding. Learn essential relationship maintenance techniques to nurture and cultivate strong connections with your loved ones. Dive into valuable emotion management strategies and regain control over your reactions. Relationship Matters has already helped countless individuals rejuvenate their relationships and find emotional well-being. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Get your copy of Relationship Matters today, available exclusively on Amazon.com. Change your relationships, change your life. Order Relationship Matters now.
Okay, thank you so much for doing that. I also want to quickly show you the next thing. One of our youngest ambassador is organizing our own event this afternoon, straight immediately after our conference. They've gathered themselves together in India, and they will be doing something called storytelling seminar. So that is another way of empowering and encouraging them to do whatever they need to do while we support them. So that is what we have today. And also, I would like to quickly share this.
Dr. Elizabeth Lucas is a dynamic and motivation speaker. She is based in the United Kingdom. She is the founder and director of YYCI International. She has been invited to several international conferences to speak and lecture. She is an intelligent teacher, author, and she is a mentor to the younger generation. Please subscribe to YYCI TV on YouTube to watch her amazing videos. You will be glad you did.
This is just to let you know that there's nothing too difficult for you to do.
If we can change, then everything around us will change.
Without wisdom, you can't really create wealth. We're in the world of creativity. Okay, so let me see if we have. Yes, please subscribe to YYCI TV YouTube channel so that you can enjoy all our previous conferences and masterclasses and my own very inspirational nugget of wisdom. Just to let you know, we just launched all these books a month ago, and they are all available. Relationship Matters, Volume 2, 3, and 4, including the Volume 1 as well. They are all available at amazon.com.uk and other Amazon's platform and other platforms. And if you want it direct from us, please contact all the co-authors or contact me on elizabeth.lucas@ymail.com. And this is the book that I want to quickly enlighten you. We're going to be giving everybody that have participated in our conference today their certificate, beautiful certificate, and we're also going to share with them. Let me show you the certificate, if it is here at all. Okay, I will send it. Okay, let's just move on. Okay, so this is the book being launched today as well. And this book is Yes, You Can International Transforms Our Lives Through Growth Mindset. In this book, you will find it's a surprise because recently we launched our magazine that is really dedicated to our 3rd year anniversary. And we encourage all our members to commemorate it and also to share their experience with us in YYCI, their own experience of transformation. So all their experience are now compiled together and form this book. And the good news is everyone will receive this book free of charge with their certificate. Thank you. That's all what I just want to quickly share with you. Okay, over to you for the next speaker, please.
Dr. Inga, is she here?
Nope, she's not here. So please take over for the next.
Okay, I think Mr. Tomorama Fatai is not here too, right?
Yeah, he's here. He's here, right here. With...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, apologize, sir. Okay, please welcome Mr. Toro Madefata. Please enlighten us with your wisdom.
This
and
is
my
his
dear
first
Manat,
time.
please kindly wait.
You are muted, sir. You are muted.
Okay.
Yes.
We can hear you. You need to
he
unmute
tried.
yourself, sir.
I see he tried.
He's trying.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe he's gonna sort that one out. We will probably is also another connection as well going on. I can hear you, Ambassador Manat. Please give us a little moment. Okay, Mr. Fatai.
I'm just running out of battery.
Okay, so maybe we join us. Yes, he will come back and join us later. Can you call on the next one, please? Next speaker, please.
Yeah. The next speaker, let's call upon Ambassador Bola Tito Ladapo Ayula. Please welcome, Mom. I know you have been waiting with us patiently.
Yes.
Let's hear her wisdom. Please welcome, Mom.
Ambassador Bola Tito Ladapo, my auntie from UK. Ayola, we want to hear from you. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon from UK, everybody, and good morning, good evening from every part of the world. Thank you, my big sis, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, and for the golden opportunity to be here today. And thank you for the honor. It's a privilege, I will say that. Thanks to all the moderators, our patrons, our matrons, all the presidents, and all the leaders in the house. I know our time is fast spent and we don't have much time, so I will just say something. My topic is how to forgive ourselves and be free. Well, on forgiveness today, a lot have been said, and on other things, on relationships. But forgiving ourselves, that is in our inner circle, or the people that we think have maybe offended us in any form. So what is forgiveness? It's just a question I always ask myself. What is forgiveness? So the literary meaning means it's an act of forgiving or be forgiven, to pardon, to exonerate, and so on and so forth. But without that, there has to be something to be forgiven of, which is offense. The Bible says offense will come, but woe unto the person that will cause it. So offense is inevitable. And the same Bible tells us that we should forgive 70 times, if I'm right, which means forgiveness is also inevitable. It is what we have to do to set ourselves free. I'll just use a small scenario. There was a time I had an issue with a very close friend of mine, and I was really offended by what she did. Unfortunately, I didn't forgive her. At the same time, I did not forgive myself. Don't think because you have not forgiven somebody, you are free from it as well. No, the hurt is still in you. So I couldn't pray. Whenever I wanted to pray, I would remember what she did. I couldn't concentrate on my job. I couldn't do anything meaningful and tangible, really. So I'm sorry, something, my system. So until I decided to forgive and let go, which takes us to another thing, like forgiveness must be intentional. You have to be intentional to forgive. It's not something that you say, oh, I've forgiven you, just go. No, because if you are not intentional with it, you are not forgiving yourself as well. So the two of you are both in bondage. Don't forget, human beings are human beings. And we are not perfect. So to forgive ourselves is just to move on and let it go. Release yourself of the hurt, of the pain, because it goes right into your heart, and your heart is very, very delicate. So in our relationships with our families, with our friends, with our colleagues, with our children as well, with our siblings, how do you forgive? You forgive by letting go. You forgive by letting people know, and you yourself know that human beings are human beings. No one is perfect. And how do you move on? The same way you forgive is the same way you move on. Because if you forgive, if I offend Professor today, it's not, if she forgives me today, I will still do something worse tomorrow. So you keep on forgiving. You just keep on forgiving, you keep on releasing yourself from the hurt, from the pain, and overlooking things. And the key thing I really want to give us before I go today is do not expect much or too much from people. High expectations bring hurt, disappointment, offense, and so on. And this is where we'll have to be harboring this grudge, and we will not be able to forgive. So do not expect too much, even from your own children. They could betray you. From your partner, they could betray you because they're human. They are not perfect. Do not expect too much. And lastly, set the boundary. What caused the offense that led to not being forgiven, that led to being forgiven, should not repeat itself. Set the boundary, draw the line so that everybody will be free. Thank you.
Wow. Precise, accurate, clearer, understood. Thank you so much, my
Thank
sister.
you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate you. We really
Okay.
appreciate your time. Thank you for staying so long today before we can even call you.
It's a pleasure.
You love us so much. That's why you are still staying with us. And I want to say thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you. Okay, let's call on the next one, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Ambassador Balatito. So we have another great patient young girl with us who has been really great ambassador, and she has been waiting with us. And now let's call upon Ambassador Manat Pankul Arnija from India. She's going to share her wisdom thoughts. Please welcome Manat. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Hadiana ma'am. Greetings of the day to all the dignified and respectable speakers present here live at YYCI TV from the different zones of the world. Myself, Ambassador Manat Pankularnija, Youth Ambassador India of Yes You Can International, extends heartfelt gratitude to Queen Elizabeth Lucas ma'am for making me part of YYCI Transformational Leadership Conference. Disappointment builds character, and strength, hope is tomorrow's veneer. Over today's disappointment, there's always failure and there's always disappointment. These are lines I read somewhere about disappointment. Themes for today's discussion is relationship matters. Yes, it do matters a lot. And if at any point of time we feel is going haywire, we can improve our relationships with others by leaps and bounds. If we become encouragers instead of critics, and trust me, if we have fixed our relationship flaws, we will never be disappointed because time never comes back. We all know life is full of many challenges, but does it allow us to stop? No, not at all. It don't allow us to stop. Yes, we can handle disappointments in life is to become tolerant of obstacles. It is through disappointment and unpleasantness that we discover things we have no control over. The best way to address a failure is to acknowledge it and work through it. It is normal to experience disappointment from time to time. Everyone experiences it. Learning from the setback and moving on is beneficial. Also, we will encounter disappointments like the loss of a loved one, challenging relationships, job loss, and health issues. But we cannot let them deter us. The purpose of our life should be to ensure that we overcome anything life throws at us. Adversity, trouble, and obstacles in life can strengthen us. Make sure we surround ourselves with people who will support us when we mess up and help we get back on track. We have greatness within us, and although failure can take a massive emotional toll on our life, we are gaining the perspective we need to handle the inevitable that will arise. Moving on from disappointment, focusing on the bigger picture of life. Occasionally, we all experience disappointment, failure, and setbacks. But we must never lose sight of our values. If we let these barriers impede us, we won't be able to handle setbacks and disappointments. We must be strong enough to stand tall to handle whatever life works against us. Even during the most challenging time, when rejection and loss feel like a slap in the face, we must prepare to stand in the fullness of life and anything it throws at you. When we learn to pamper ourselves and let the positive energy flow into our life, it serves to transform us into a more trusting and reliant human being. Learning to not feel like a failure because of a setback. After suffering many setbacks, we learn to face life's challenges sportingly. Life's challenges teach us to let our strengths overshadow our weaknesses, to overcome and rebuild our life after failures. Singing to our lowest self is the first eye opener. After letting go of the disappointments and hurts that were affecting you, finally, we can acknowledge our situation and practice the ways of self realization. This makes it so much easier for us to figure out what we were looking from life. It felt as if we placed our life to a pause for a moment, overcoming the many disappointments. Have confidence in oneself, which is very important. It means we believe in ourselves and knowing our worth. Learning how to be confident is significant in every part of your life. We know how to surround ourselves with people we love and whose presence makes us more positive. When we have supportive and loving people around us, our confidence level automatically gets boosted. Life has its ups and downs. We need to begin by picturing ourselves by confronting, and this is a beginning to a change. In this life, we will encounter disappointments at the hands that force setbacks beyond our control. But we must take it as a form of feedback. Also, take it as a way of different experiences for future goals. Something unexpected can spoil all and every intention. Nonetheless, when we run into a setback, it should cause us to pause and think there will always be obstacles in our professional or personal life. But with determination, we can bypass all negativity and eliminate the barrier that crosses our path one by one. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, 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 wow. I really appreciate you. We met you last month, but yes, you were enjoying your holiday. So but now you are back again with a full, powerful words that you've shared with us today. And can I also let you know that one of your friend, Dr. Sai, Ambassador Sai is also hosting another event immediately after this program. So if you are free, please join us. They're doing the storytelling event. So please join us there and let us encourage ourselves together. She is also one of our ambassadors at YYCI. Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Ambassador Manat. And my greetings to mom and dad. Thank you for your time today. Okay, over to you, YYCI people. We need to call back those that we miss out. They are back in the house. So let's call them if you get my message. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, dear Queen. Thank you, dear Manat. You are so amazing. We are proud of you. Perfect. Okay, now we invite Ambassador Dr. Anagua. I think.
Yes, he's here.
But he's here?
Yes, he's here. Ambassador Dr. Anago Ikechukwu Augustine from Nigeria, the founder of Inero. You are welcome, sir.
Yeah,
And
good afternoon,
after
good
that, we're
evening.
going to call on Mr. Fatai. Okay.
Mm. Good afternoon, everybody from the city of Abuja in Nigeria. I want to greet everybody, those that have contributed and those that are about to contribute. A special thanks to African Queen, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas Afolari. I praise all my friends and all my mentors that have contributed to the success of this very wonderful conference. Before let me just contribute on how to handle trauma and the emotional breakdown. As we know that people can experience a wide range of emotions before and after disaster or trauma event, and there's no right or wrong way to feel. However, it's important to find healthy ways to cope when these things happen. Everybody around the world can experience one thing or the other that make them to have emotional breakdown or trauma. Just what is happening now, the war that's happening between Israel and their brothers over there, Hamas, with what's the name? So a lot of people have already gone into trauma, and a lot of things have been happening. But we not fail to encourage ourselves and then define the means in case it happened to you. We have to define means for us to take care of ourselves so that we will not die before our time. And some of those very tips is that we talk with others about how we feel. So many people go into isolation when such a thing happens. When they are living in trauma, or maybe they are experiencing emotional breakdown, they go into a house and lock themselves up thinking that that is the best solution. No. If you do that, you are just increasing the issue, the problem to deal with you. And when you want to talk to people, you will talk with people who have a certain understanding. You will not go and begin to talk to a melancholy temperament. You know, a melancholy temperament will continue to define the cause of your trauma in a way that you are going to feel it more deep and deep, because that is what the temperament is leading to. You have to go to a sound queen who will brighten you up and tell you a lot of stories because they are talkative. In fact, they will talk the trauma out down and the emotional breakdown. They will talk it out from you, because trauma and the emotional breakdown, they are the tools that make depression to kill, because depression itself is a monster that kills. But the deprived is it have a root in trauma and emotion, and that is going to cause death, because from there one can go into psychosomatic illness, which cannot be defined by any medical machine. So it is very, very harmful for you to allow yourself to wallow in trauma, and you have to calm yourself down. Try meditations on deep breathing exercises. You meditate, and in your meditation, don't think of your failures or your weaknesses. You begin to think about the positive part of your life, your achievement. You exalt yourself. Within you talk to yourself, you speak to yourself. You can make it. If you are a Christian, you have to go to Bible verses and chapters that encourage you to continue, because tomorrow will be better. Like in Psalm chapter 30, verse 5, you say, "There might be weeping throughout the night, but in the morning comes joy." Like in Psalm 34, verse 10, that said, young lion can go hungry for the lack of food, but those who believe in God will have everything they have. And the verse 19 that used to say The affliction may be that the righteous may suffer affliction, but God will deliver him from them all. And a lot of other verses, like book of Job, chapter 14, verse 7, that say that there is hope for a tree that is being cut down, even when the root and the stub is dry and they become rotten. But with the little water, it can sprout up again. So you have to believe that things will be better. You have to speak to yourself positively. You have to encourage yourself. You have to exhort yourself. You have to make yourself a promise of better days ahead. Trusting in God, trusting in God. Because if you are suffering from trauma, you don't trust God, you are going to die. If you are suffering from emotional breakdown, you don't trust in God, you will, because nobody is master of his or her own destiny. God is the master of our own destiny. But when it comes in the matter like that, you know that you cannot cure yourself of this, but you can trust on God. Then you calm yourself, you meditate, you breathe in you practice deep breathing exercise. You breathe in for like a 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds. Continue doing like this until you see that your nerves are calmed down. You do also physical activities like walking or yoga. Take care of yourself. Get plenty of sleep. Just sleep. Relax. Relax is going to be normal. Eat healthy diet. Drink enough water. Avoid using alcohol, because when some people go into trauma or they have some emotional drain, you will see them using alcohol or some drugs, some narcotic to calm themselves, or tobacco. No, you are killing yourself when you are doing such a thing. If you see somebody that is maybe taking alcohol or drugs for the person to go out of trauma, no. It's very, very dangerous. You have to avoid that. Then you have to get back to your daily routine. Do the things you will normally do, even if you don't feel like doing it. And you will get involved in your community activities. Go out, socialize with the people, interact with the people, talk it out, let it be out. Some people can harbor a lot of things within themselves, and when it explodes, it causes a lot of damages to psychological life. Do the things you would normally do, even if you don't feel like doing it. Just get yourself something doing, just to detach yourself from such thing that cause your trauma. Forget about it. Even if it's a generational issue that causes your trauma, there's nothing God cannot do. With God, all things are possible. If you are religious, that is where you show your religiosity. If you are not religious, if you are just even an ordinary human being, know that you did not create yourself, that God who created you is greater than any problem that comes to you. You will get help. If symptoms persist, if it persists, you can even discuss with the mental health professionals, and they are going to advise you. So this is little that I can add in the way that we are going to handle trauma and emotional breakdown. No, it is not only you. Many people are still suffering it. But how you handle your own is how we are going to get healed. And the best way, I say again, the best way for you to handle it, for you to talk to yourself, and for you to motivate yourself, for you to tell yourself that you can do it. It is well, that God is in charge, God is in control. And when you are doing that, when talking to yourself, tell yourself you are born to win, you are born for excellence, you are a great person, you are not going down, you are going up, you will not die, you will believe that it is so, and it is going to be so in your life, because power belongs to the tongue, power to create and recreate. Thank you very much. And may God continue to bless you. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. See you next month. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Dr. Anugu Kechiku. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and also being here since morning. I know you need to quickly go for a rush to go and do something and meeting somewhere, but we really appreciate you coming back to us and come and share your valuable wisdom with us. So thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
Appreciate your words.
Thank you, African Queen. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, so over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. And please welcome back Mr. Toro Madefata. The stage is yours. I think the mic is unmute now, so we hope that we can hear your
Solar greetings to each and every one of us listening to this powerful message being organized by YYCI International under my able sister and friend, Professor Dr. Elizabeth Lucas. I really love what Queen Nadina Henry said, because that really gives a substance to the message which I have to deliver. The first thing we have to understand is that the essence of a thing lies in its properties, and we should be able to understand the concept before engaging with that concept. Then when you look at relationship itself is a living entity that has life, and then therefore it has to be treated as such. When you look at relationship like as a child that needs attention, needs love, and then at a point in time the child gets sick, you don't abandon the child because the child is sick. You have to seek for appropriate medication to put the child back.
I think there is a connection issue because I cannot hear the voice.
Yes, we hear it.
Yes. Okay. Because we actually running the time, as our queen already said, that we will finish at 2 p.m. I think while waiting Mr. Toromade back, let's call the other speaker. But before, let me welcome Professor Nada. She also already joined with us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. My apologize. I just come. You see, my here. I didn't do
Back,
nothing
yes.
and joined immediately because I didn't want to miss this amazing conference. And I love my Dr. Queen and you, Herdiana, Dr. Inga, and all here. So I don't want to lunch nothing. And
Thank
I'm
you.
just
Thank you so
here.
much for joining us. We really appreciate you, Professor Nada Rakosvik. I know she's busy today to do one thing or the other, but she's back to the house. So welcome back. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, we need to quickly move on. I think we've lost Mr. Toromade. I think it's the connection from where he is. So please, let's use this time to quickly call on Reverend Father from Philippines, Reverend Raul Benny Barcelona from Philippines, and after that, let's call on Dr. Saprata from India, and then let's call on Dr. Kampani Dixon. I hope you are writing it down between our two chair ladies. And then we can call on Dr. Professor Nada to speak. And then from there, please, let's meet up the time. Dr. Suraya, we will call you very soon. Please, let's meet up the time. We're trying to leave as soon as possible because I have another meeting to attend. So let's move on quickly. Can we reduce it to 3 minutes?
Thank you
I'm
very
so
much.
sorry. 3 minutes.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. 3 minutes.
So I'll be speaking about like very beautiful topic, how to forgive oneself and be free. So this is a very fundamental issue. How are we going to forgive oneself and be free? Non-forgiveness of oneself is a punishment we give to ourselves. Do you agree with that? So thank you. Not to forgive oneself means to let go of the guilt and shame we feel for something we have done wrong. It's like giving ourselves a second chance and choosing not to be hard.
This connection today is something else. Okay, let's see, is he going to?
That's important. Okay. Second, we have to feel sorry. It's important to feel sorry for what we did. This shows that we understand it was not right. The third, ask for forgiveness. We can talk to God, whoever is your God, and ask for forgiveness. We can say sorry and ask for help and letting go of the guilt. Fourth, learn from the mistake. We can think about what we did wrong and learn from it. This helps us grow and make a better choice in the future. Then be kind to ourselves, of course, instead of being hard on ourselves. We can be kind and gentle. We can remind ourselves that everyone makes a mistake and that we deserve love and forgiveness too. Remember that forgiveness takes time. And it's okay to ask for help from others, like a trusted friend, an adult, or a priest, or a pastor, if we are struggling. God loves us and wants us to be happy and be free. And of course, we have to pray. We have to talk to God about our feelings and ask His help in forgiving oneself. He's always there to listen and guide us. In the context of a Catholic, we have the sacramental confession. If you are a Catholic, consider going to the sacrament of confession. Confess your sins to a priest and bring you peace and assurance of God's forgiveness. And of course, we have to practice self-compassion. This is very important. Self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would treat a friend who made a mistake. Remember that everyone commits mistake, and it's part of learning and growing. There is a learning curve in every mistake that we have committed. Focus on a personal growth. Instead of dwelling on the past, just nostalgic sometimes, focus on becoming a better person. Set goals, learn new things, and engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Like this. Now we listen from every perspective, different topics, in order for us to have a self-growth. And this brings us joy and fulfillment. Surround yourself with positive influence. Spend time with people who support and encourage you. Their positivity can help you see your worth and move forward. And this is one of the problems. Let go of perfectionism. We are too much perfectionist that we cannot forgive ourselves with a simple mistake. Understand that nobody is perfect. It's okay to commit mistakes. Embrace our imperfections and learn from them. So my dear friends, remember, forgiving yourself is a process that takes time and effort. Be patient with yourself and trust with God's grace. You can find healing and freedom. That's why relationship matters. Once again, thank you very much, my dear Queen, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. And I'd
Thank
like
you,
also to
sir.
greet my friend. My friend is here. We met my friend in the Philippines, Bishop Ambassador Dr. Ferbas. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much.
So all around our friends around the world, to our ambassadors of peace, God bless us all.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
God
sir.
bless. Thank you very much.
We really appreciate you, Father Reverend Ben Basila from Philippines. God bless you, sir. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, let's move on. The next bit, please, let's make it sharp and simple and quick.
Okay.
Short.
From Philippines, let's move to India. We have with us Dr. Kalpana Dixit, who have been patiently joined with us. Please, Dr. Kalpana, share your wisdom with us, probably in 3 minutes because you are in rush. The stage is yours, Dr. Kalpana. Welcome.
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Saprata.
Yeah, I am here. Thank you, Dr. Hari.
Yeah.
No, who are we calling? Sorry.
I'm Dr. Kalpana Dixit here
Okay,
calling.
okay. Dr. Kapana. Okay. All right. Please, 3 minutes. Please,
For
3
today,
minutes, please.
yeah, for today's international conference, my topic is impact of trauma on relationship. That is genuinely very much important. As you all know what is trauma, there are some psychological stress. This is called trauma. And there are different situations. This is situation involved for the psychological trauma or emotional trauma. Sometimes trauma and the behavior presentation is all chronic depression and anxiety, substance abuse, and numbness and depression, suicidal thoughts, etc. are combined with this emotional trauma. So, what are the positive and negative impacts of these traumatic situations on one's relationship? I would like to say that relationship is very much affected with your emotional state. If you are not stable emotionally, then definitely your relationship will be suffered. So you must take care of yourself. You should love yourself. This, without this, you cannot control your emotions. And emotional trauma is definitely affect the relationship and the range of traumatic experiences affecting relationship. Sometimes the level of anxiety and aggression is very much beyond the limit. So that this will definitely affect your relationship. And sometimes how trauma affects your relationship, if we ask the question, then I can say that aggression may also one of the important components of any relationship. If you are not able to control your aggression, if you are not able to control your anxiety, if you are suffering from any traumatic situation, either since your childhood life cycle or in adulthood, you will definitely take care of all this. Other thing I would like to say that the trauma affects relationship because this will isolate you from others. This also creates withdrawing situation from friends, family, co-workers, and feeling you feel disturbed, you feel disconnected, and you feel detached from the society. This will definitely affect your relationship, and trauma can impact your relationship in another way also. How this is possible? Because if you are not living your life perfectly, that will definitely affect neither your family nor your friendship, but yourself also. Mentally and physically, you will not fit, then you will not take care of your relationship. And trauma can impact your relationship. There are different styles in relationship. If there are a romantic style, then definitely trauma will affect your relationship. If this is a friendship, then I can't say I'm not sure that whether this will affect the relationship or not, because you have options. You have option to choose. But in your family life, you have no option to choose. You have to live with trauma. You have to adjust with your family. You have to take care of your trauma. You have to take care of mental, physical, psychological health. Other thing I would like to say that the trauma will create lack of emotional intimacy between you and your partner, so that your relationship will be impact. If you are not giving proper time, if you are not showing your intimacy towards your partner, romantic partner, so that will affect your relationship also. Other thing is that it makes you uncomfortable with emotional intimacy. If your parents or previous patterns did not value your thoughts and feelings, then you will carry this in your personal and family life also, and that will create a dangerous situation in your personal relationship. People with this attachment style tend to have a dismissive attitude toward relationship and become highly independent. So that will also create situation of disturbance in your family life. Then other thing is that communication barrier. If you are in any traumatic situation, you would like to shut your mouth. You would like to sit with a numbness situation. So there is a communication barrier. You are afraid to share your feelings with your partner because you think what he will think about me, what his perception about me. So you always keep it, and that will create a dangerous situation to your traumatic health. and
Thank you so
emotional
much.
trauma
Thank you.
also.
Can you round up, please? Can you round up,
Yeah,
please?
yes. Difficulty with this is one of the important dimension of breaking relationships after traumatic situation. So please believe in positivity. Positivity has a great power to keep yourself mentally and physically fit, to take care of your mental health, to discuss with psychologists, counselor, and other health support for your mental and physical health. And you should check your trauma also, because I would like to say this. Good things can still happen in the mindset of courage. You should keep your mindset happy, healthy, and positive. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for rounding it up in a very special way. Our mindset is very important. So thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Dr. Campana. So let's quickly call on Dr. Saprata. Then after that, we call on many more great speakers. I think we have to extend our time from 2 o'clock. We have to extend it for another extra 15 minutes, if that is okay by every one of you, because I still want to listen to Dr. Inga hasn't spoken. Even all my chairpersons, they haven't shared their own yet. And Dr. Nada is still there. Professor Nada is still there. And I have my bishop. My bishop is still there with Dr. Samina. So we still have great leaders on the platform. They still need to share. So I'm going to extend this meeting today, even though I need to be in another meeting shortly. So probably I'm going to hand over to one of you to continue. Okay, all right.
Thank you, dear Queen. Thank you very much, dear Ma'am Kalpana. My great respect to you. Okay, my dear respected friends. We are still standing in India, and now I want to invite a great educator, Dr. Subrata. Welcome, dear sir. Please share your talk with us now. Stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Inga, and I'm really grateful to our revered Queen, Dr. Elizabeth Lucas, revered Ma, for giving me the opportunity. I've been waiting for the last 4 hours, and I have another meeting to go to. So I'll be
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. Sorry about delaying the time.
So basically, the topic that I'll speak on is, how to forget and forgive. So what I personally believe is that, the time when we were born, right, we had nothing to forgive and nothing to forget. So whatever, we create is during our lifespan, and our lifespan is very small. So why do we have grudge on others? Why can't we empathize? Why can't we understand from the other person's perspective? So I remember a very important quote from ex-American President Roosevelt, wherein he said that, and it's there on my Facebook page as well, which is small people talk about people. The mediocre people talk about things, and the big people talk about ideas. So why can't we elevate ourselves and not croon about small things, wherein we have differences in opinions about people, about things, and we have to actually forgive. So it's best that we forget all the differences that we have, and we create and imbibe an ecosystem wherein forgiveness thrives. So that's all that I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saprata. Thank you so much for even meeting up the time. We really appreciate that. And also staying with us. I believe you've learned from all great leaders that we have invited today. And I believe that even if though it's only little that you've shared today, we still gain from it. So thank you so much. Okay, let's move on quickly.
Okay, from India, let's move to Croatia. We have with us our great Professor Nada Ratkovic.
Before Professor Nada, because I know her, I'm still going to give her something to do first. Let's quickly call on 2 people, and then we hand over to Professor Nada, you're going to continue to host this meeting. That's your job today. And then you can talk, even if you want to talk a whole day. So I'm gonna switch it to you to be the host while I come out of this conference. I will come back shortly. It's just for me to set up.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
All right then. Okay. So can we call on Dr. Muhammad Suba? And after that, we can call on Professor Mary, and then I need to call on Bishop Nelson. And
Okay.
Bishop Nelson, after his speech, is going to call on Dr. Dr. Samina Evelyn. So Dr. Samina Evelyn will speak after Bishop Nelson, and then we will move on from there. Okay. All right, over to you.
Okay, so please welcome Dr. Muhammad Zubair from India. Please enlighten us. We know that 3 minutes is not enough. You have full of knowledge, but we truly appreciate your time because we are in hurry. Please welcome Dr. Muhammad.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth and the host, all my professors and my friends. First of all, I would like to, express my gratitude to all of you for inviting me at this platform. I was listening to all of you because these topics are very important in our life. So today, I will talk about the, conflicts. As we all know, 3 minutes is not enough for me to explain this psychological aspects. So conflicts occur when people, perceive as a consequence of, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, one second. Oh, my. 1 second, some problem. Okay. So I was talking about conflicts. Conflicts occur when people, perceive as a consequence of a disagreement and there is a threat to their needs, interest, or concern. So, a conflict is more than a mere disagreement. It is a situation in which people perceive a threat, physical, emotional, power, status to their, well-being. As such, it is a meaningful experience in people's lives, and participants in conflict tend to respond on the basis of their perceptions of the situation rather than an objective review of it. So as in any problem, conflicts contain substantive, procedural, and psychological dimensions, and conflicts are normal experiences within the work environment where we are working. So they are also a large degree predictable and expectable situation that naturally arise. And lots of different kinds of conflicts, like approach conflicts. Individual is motivated to approach two or more positive but mutually exclusive goals. And approach avoidance conflicts, avoidance conflicts. So personal differences, information deficiencies, role incompatibility, uh, we we are jealousing each other, environmental stress, competition for resources, task interdependence, and status struggles, ambiguity, hierarchy conflicts, functional conflicts, and formal and informal conflicts. So lots of conflicts are there. So conflict is a normal and necessary part of healthy relationship, but we have to solve these conflicts. A conflict is more than just a disagreement, as I told, and we respond to conflict based on our perceptions, and conflict trigger strong emotions. Conflicts are an opportunity for growth, sometimes increased